Hit that record. We're live.
We're live.
Excuse me. Can I have everybody's attention, please? Ladies and gentlemen, children of all ages.
Derek, this is not a children's show.
Okay, my bad. Adults and parents and kids, after you've got your permission slip signed by your parents.
I guess that'll work.
Is that okay?
That's okay.
Screw it, dude. No.
I think we should probably start the show.
No. Screw it. Let's just go ahead and start.
Yeah.
Because this is actually an exciting show.
Yeah. We actually have our very first guest today. And
there's more to it. So we're debuting our first guest. We're going to give it up in a second.
Yeah.
But we're also bringing out a 360 camera. That's the best part.
Whoa.
Yeah.
We actually have a couple things to make a big deal about real quick. The first thing we need to make a big deal about is this is episode number 2. Dose. Shout out.
Thanks. For número dos, press. For español, press dos.
No, but we had a great response for the first episode, which was a guest list. It was just a little taste test, a sampling, if you will, of what the show is going to be like. But we are officially on Spotify. We're on YouTube, which you can watch the visual. We got video cameras going. And then we will be live on Google and iTunes in the next couple of days. So you are listening to the Secret Handshake podcast. I'm Taylor White Tea Leach, and this is
Derek Dutch Oven Holland.
Yeah. And so we got Instagram Live going, like we said.
Had to give a preview.
Our very first guest to ever be on the show. And this is a big deal because you're getting in on the ground floor. I don't know if you realize this. His name is JSi, also known as JSi Chavez.
Right.
And JSi, how do you feel right now about being the very first guest on what could possibly be the best podcast of 2019?
Well, first time, long time listener, first time guest.
Okay.
Hey, I'm
actually really excited because if you guys ever win an award, like at a podcast award show,
right,
you guys have to thank me.
It's like you get a championship ring if the team wins the championship. Yeah.
Like I got hurt, tore my ACL or something, but I'm still going to get that ring.
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
I'm excited.
So for people who don't know, JC, why don't you fill us in on what it is that you do on a day-to-day basis?
I mow Derek's lawn on Wednesdays.
Thank you. Yeah, that's actually the day that we.
That's about it, right?
Yeah, that's.
Yeah. No, I'm the host of the
quickly.
Democratic Morning Show on 106.1 KISS FM out of Dallas, and we're syndicated around the country.
Okay.
And then I did a little bit on TV with a show called Dish Nation for 4 seasons.
What?
So people might recognize your face is what you're saying. You're saying you're kind of a big deal.
Wait, it could be his voice.
Yeah, well, voice and face.
There we go.
Yeah. But what you're saying to us is that you're kind of a big deal to be on the show, and maybe we should be kind of thinking about it a little bit differently.
Right.
Yeah.
So I'm ready for the big show.
Should we take the Wayne's World approach? We're not worthy. We're not worthy.
I'm also in a band with White Tea.
Well, okay.
Derek, I don't know if he told you.
Yes, I've heard about this, by the way, with him being a rapper.
Well, yeah.
Well, I mean,
a once was rapper.
Yeah, so I was right.
Right, a rapper in a previous life.
But how did that come about between you two?
Well, we weren't rapping. We just started a band that has nothing to do with the rapping.
Oh, okay, never mind. Well, I mean, I figured you got hot on the mic,
You're a little off
threw
base
down
here.
the beat.
We're an Instagram band.
Yeah.
So it was before Instagram let you have those long videos. It was 15-second videos. And so we just called ourselves Double Tap.
That was our band
we
name.
wanted the ladies to just double tap on them pictures.
Yeah. So there is actually a Double Tap Instagram account. It's got basically, we weren't very good at recording covers, but we were really good at shooting album covers. Yeah. So we've got 2 photos that are representative of what our future album covers will end up being, but we don't have any music to really support or back up.
Can we make sure we put these on Instagram so everybody gets to see these pictures?
Yeah, we will share that through the YouTube description. You can click the link and find it. But yeah,
who was the rapper that used to mess with though? Was it Soulja Boy?
Oh yeah.
So
kind of.
Let me pick that up real quick. You just dropped a big name.
I'm just saying that now because Soulja Boy's in the news right now.
Well, yeah, Soulja Boy is definitely surging. He is surging right now on when it comes to just the internet's talking about things, and one of those things is he's been going in on basically everybody in the rap game. Drake. Tyga, started with Tyga, Kanye, and I think it's just him trolling because he's trying to get those views up. He's had an incredible press run. He's done everything from the Breakfast Club to, any morning show, you name it, but all off of just him saying, Tyga?
I need that
talking about
just to say
Tyga?
my name. JC? JC?
Yeah, but it's like the meme of the week right now.
Yeah.
So if you haven't been on the internet, then you probably don't know what we're talking about. But if you have been on the internet, then more than likely you do.
The internet?
The internets.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Yes.
Is the music, hold on, was the music that you guys would kind of, when you guys were together, was it more of a, kind of like a Spanish music, or were you guys,
There was cover music. So whatever the popular Ed Sheeran song of the time was, then that's what we were
And we
typically
a couple
playing.
Ed Sheerans.
Yeah.
Okay.
A little Eminem. What was the Eminem? It was Forever. With Lil Wayne, Kanye, Drake. Yeah.
So you guys should, like, use that beat and then kind of took off?
No.
Or am I? Okay. Well, then
So
I'm going too far.
real quick, we're going to explain the concept of a cover band to Derek. This is where the band, hence JC and I, we play other people's music.
Yeah.
So we take an
Yeah,
Ed
I know.
Sheeran song that he sings,
And you sing
and
it.
we try to sing it
And
like
you try to
half
see if
as
you're
good.
better.
Yeah.
Not see if we're better, just do our version.
No. We compete here on this show. We compete.
Well, then we
I'm
wouldn't have
sorry.
picked Ed Sheeran then, because that's it. You can't compete.
You never know. You might have killed it.
Yeah.
We did actually kill
Okay,
that one.
see,
Yeah,
there
that
you
one was
go.
actually pretty good.
Confidence booster right out
It
the
lives
gate.
somewhere on Instagram.
What we have learned in the last 5 minutes, Derek is completely oblivious to the concept of cover band music. But we
Thank
are
you, guys.
forgetting something. Just not to stay on the topic of how big of a deal it is that JC's on today, but we do have something for him.
Oh, yeah, that's
Um,
right. Let me, I got to move my mic
Yeah,
here.
and so you won't be able to see this if you're just listening.
So feel
only.
free to watch. Now, we give these out to all of our guests because obviously there's been so many.
Right.
So this is our first one.
Yeah. So
it's actually a belt. Bro, this is custom belt.
Yeah.
let's make sure we show it to the camera.
Yeah. Oh, shoot. Give me that back.
Okay.
Sorry. We got the one camera here. There's that. So as you can
Yeah.
see, custom belt, all for you.
Now the only thing is we will need to get that back.
Yeah,
before
right after
you
the show.
leave, because
You're
Rocket
not
League,
taking that
Derek.
home.
yeah.
Dude, you're not supposed to read
Yeah,
what's on it.
you
to
were
the
just supposed to
people.
pretend like it was truly
Just
a
act
custom.
like it
I
says
thought it
the
was
secret
going to have a
handshake.
name on it.
Well, you know what? That's what you get for thinking. You thought wrong. This belt is. We're gonna take pictures with it, so you feel really important. But we are gonna take that back.
Yeah.
I like it.
It's not for keepers.
I actually do enjoy Rocket League. That's one of my favorite games.
So we actually play, as you see. Now this is it's pretty good. Is we actually have the tag team belt. So there's two of those, obviously, and then we have a singles belt.
Okay.
Singles is kind of tough because anybody can kind of just win in that. Whereas doubles, you actually have the strategy.
Okay.
But yeah, so enjoy your belt for the next 2 hours because that's all you get it for.
Yeah. So, JC, you and I, we've known each other for a good amount of time, but most recently, I think it was the first time you and Derek met. We were at the Dallas Mavericks City Edition Big Sean concert.
I thought
we'd
Derek
met,
a bunch of times.
Really?
Yeah,
So
that's
before
it.
that wasn't the first time.
No, definitely not the
So
first.
why'd you guys act like it was the first time? Let me ask you that question.
I don't like to assume that people remember who I am.
Right.
So I just always introduce myself.
See, I was just going to actually take a different approach and use the alcohol that was involved. It's
Well,
just
we
like,
had just gotten there.
man, yeah. Well,
We had
that's
just
your
gotten
opinion,
to
okay?
okay.
Maybe I get drunk really fast.
Okay. Well, hey.
No, we've definitely seen each other. I'm trying to think of somewhere else. I think we've seen each other when So-and-So's was around. Or no, sorry. Foozie's. How you say
Well,
it?
probably in a lot of spots because
First time
I've seen you.
We all
multiple
go out
times.
in Dallas.
We've been out.
I met you at Standard Pour.
Okay,
in
yeah, there's
Dallas,
another
the
one.
First
Yeah.
time ever. And,
Okay.
and you devoured a hamburger in like 2 seconds.
Yeah, that's typical of me.
And I was like, yeah, this guy's cool.
I can put down some food.
Like 2 bites. Done.
God, Standard Port. What a great place,
Yeah.
too, by the way. Good
Yeah,
burgers.
shout
And I
out
met
to,
him when he was
Skin-
Batman one time at a Halloween party. I was like, oh, what's your name? He
Was
goes,
I dressed up then, too?
Yeah, you were. And
So
I said,
I looked at some of my costumes. I had a Halo one. You play games, which we'll get into that later, but I had a Halo costume. I was wondering if I wore it that
oh, we
day.
should have won. No, you were Batman.
JC, quick
Shocker.
question. On the GoPro, we got blinking red light.
Yep.
Perfect.
Yeah, we're
Okay.
We're
come
Gucci.
on, come
I thought you were
on.
going to make me push something.
I'm just making sure. Yeah. So, but the last time we all were in the same room was
Was definitely that.
Dallas,
Big Sean.
Dallas Mavericks were releasing their City Edition jersey.
How come we didn't get jerseys?
See, Derek did get a jersey because Derek bought one.
Derek.
Derek.
Now, so I brought something up, and now I'm a jerk. You're combining jerk and Derek.
Oh, you bought
I see
one?
what you
Yeah,
did.
Derek bought
Yeah,
one
I
there.
bought
You could have
it.
bought one while you were there. Nobody. The only person that got one for free, I believe, was Big Sean. So what the Mavs did is they brought Big Sean
His
in.
name's on it anyway.
Oh, well, yeah.
So he definitely got a cool one.
They brought Big Sean in to basically do a private concert. So the three of us, a few other people, shout out our guy Duro, was out there and in the house, but we all went and linked up and had an awesome free podcast. So what did you just ask me?
I was just saying we should be okay. We don't have to really edit that.
Oh yeah, I'm definitely gonna edit that out. Yeah.
Okay, never mind.
You just got a little bit something.
Yeah,
you got the secret stuff there.
Yeah, the secret stuff that can't be talked about. So, JC, we know you're on the radio. How did you get your radio name? Where does JC come from? Because your real name is what?
Jose. My name's Jose Chavez. So when I was in San Diego,
I shouldn't have said Chavez. I should have said Chavez.
Whatever. I'll respond to whatever.
Okay.
But so I started my radio career in San Diego, and my name, I was in Wales, Vagina. And my first radio name was actually 50 Peso.
Was it really? That was your actual radio name?
I know, it's embarrassing, right? So
actually, that's kind of cool, to be honest.
Well, it's like 50 Cent.
It was.
But 50 Peso.
It's the Spanish version.
Yeah, 50 Cent was super hot back then. And that's when Get Rich or Die Trying had just come out. So everybody was all about 50 Cent. Okay. So they named me 50 Peso because I was rapping some Eminem in the control room. And it helped me because a lot of people knew who I was, and my name just stuck. But when I got the job with Kid Craddock, he looked at me. He's like, "Yeah, that's not going to fly over here." So we were trying to determine what to go by, and he figured, "Why don't we just go by JC? Because your name's Jose Chavez, simple enough." And we went to a radio convention, and there were so many other JCs there, like tons.
Really?
So I went from having a name that nobody else had, and everybody recognized, to having a name that was one out of 300 others. And so I got in the car with Kid, and I was like, "Man, that sucks. You're Kid Craddock. You're the only Kid Craddock in the country that I know of. I mean, I've never heard of another Kid Craddock. I'm one of 1,000 JCs." And he just sat back, and he goes, "Yeah, that makes you feel crappy, huh?" And I just said, "See," in Spanish. And literally, that's all it took. He just looked at me, and he goes, "Bro, why don't we just call you J-SI? Because you're Mexican, J-C, yes." And I'm like, "Oh, yeah, it's positive." Cool. So that was it. I mean, we're like probably 4 beers deep and maybe a little tipsy, but
that's how things come, though. If you think about it, like when you do any projects, we've had a few drinks and we were out here playing basketball. And that's how we kind of came up with the Secret Handshake podcast. Uh-huh. So having like something like that, doing something to take your mind away from it is usually where most of that stuff comes in. Like you said, you had a few beers and then boom, you came up with.
Happened. Do you like your nickname?
Yeah.
Dutch
Oven? Yeah. But
where does that come from?
So mine came from, obviously my last name's Holland. Yeah. So Dutch. That was the original thing, was Dutch. And me just being a goofball, I was kind of thinking, what could I do with it? And then a fan had at the stadium in Arlington, Dutch oven bringing the heat. I thought that was kind of cool. It's unique. It's different. So I was like, you know what? Let's do something with that. I got on Ben and Skin when I was with them, and I was like, look, I'm going to debut something different that's going to be on my glove. Check it out if you get a chance. Thinking like, me saying that, the cameras will kind of check it out. Yeah. And which they did, and it said Dutch oven on the glove. And then people were like checking it out. I made my Twitter account. I started going with that. And it's funny because everybody's like, "Don't you know what that is?" I was like, "Yeah, I know. It's a freaking fart under the covers. I don't care." Like, and the way that I also looked at it too is like, if I suck, cool, you can say I'm being a real Dutch oven right now.
Right.
Like, it doesn't bother me. Like, that's the thing that I think is funny and unique, is having a nickname like that is different. You want something that's going to be catchy, like you were saying too. Like you want to stand out. And so to me, having Dutch oven was, something that's funny and different and unique that could go many different directions. And if you want to use it negative towards me and tell me I suck and I'm pitching like a real Dutch oven, cool. Could be cooking something good, just so you know.
Well, yeah, and it's only negative for you if you decide to play into it, right?
Well, I mean, if somebody's on, whatever, how social media is, they like to get on there and bash. But
but if it doesn't bother you, then it doesn't bother you.
Yeah, I have fun with it.
So
I'm always embracing it. But I mean, obviously, we've got our 2 nicknames. How in the hell did you come up with White Tea?
Well, I did not come up with that, sir. That was bestowed upon me.
Actually, hold on. Let me say that too. Then to you as well. You didn't come up with your nickname technically, right?
No, I was given.
I didn't come up with mine, and you didn't come up with yours.
Right, which might be the best way to get a nickname, because if it's self-proclaimed nickname, then
you can't do that. You can't.
You might lose cool points for that one.
Okay, is mine considered that I made it myself because of taking something from the fan, even though Dutch?
Well, someone told me, and maybe this is just a rumor, but somebody that I know told me you got your nickname because someone on the ticket referred to you as that. Was it Mike Reiner?
Dutch oven?
Yeah, that's what I was told.
Oh, no, I got it from a kid that had a sign. That's where I started.
Okay. And why did the kid sign say Dutch oven?
I was throwing fast.
Okay.
That's when I threw harder.
So you're bringing the heat, oven is hot, therefore we get Dutch oven. Gotcha.
Hey, remember how you had to explain things to me about the band and stuff?
I'm learning how nicknames work today.
I'm teaching you how nicknames are created. So I think that's what makes things unique is you didn't come up with it. Obviously, like you said,
yours was inspired by someone who kind of helped you come up with it.
Both of my nicknames that I had in radio were given to me.
Yeah,
right. So and I really do. I might have to call you the rest of the show 50 pesos.
My friends in San Diego still call me Peso.
That's
really all my friends back, my radio friends back in San Diego, they'll be like, "What's up, Peso?"
I think that's fucking cool.
Yeah.
I like that a lot.
Yeah.
That's unique.
Yeah. So mine was bestowed upon me by the guy we were just talking about, Soulja Boy. Soulja?
Whitey?
Soulja? Yeah. So back in the day, I used to rap. And the way that happened, long story short, is, before the rapping happened, the name happened. So I was at Soulja Boy's house. This is maybe, I don't know, 7, 8 years ago, 9 years ago in Atlanta, Georgia. And anyways, so we got guests.
No, I was looking.
Eric just showed up with Harper.
Oh, I'll go take care of that. You guys keep chatting for a second.
Yeah, so I'm at Soulja Boy's house, and I don't know if you guys remember at the time, JC, there was an iPhone trick where you could make it look like your iPhone was popping popcorn. And so I showed it to him. It was like 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock in the morning, and we're just messing around, and I pull out the phone, and I go, "Hey, check out this magic trick." He says, "Let's go live on YouTube, or let's do a YouTube video with this." At the time, you got to remember, Soulja Boy was, king of the internet, not self-proclaimed, but like legitimately the king of the internet.
Ringtone master,
ringtone guy. I mean, he literally was pioneering that whole, what we're doing right now. I mean, he really did that. He was one of the first guys live streaming on something called Kite, back in the day. So anyways, we're making the YouTube video, and the whole time he's referring to me. He's like, "What up? This your boy, Soulja Boy. Got my favorite white boy here." And so that became my name for the whole YouTube video. Favorite white boy. And so at the very end of the video, I'm wearing his like $30,000 diamond chain. And he told me, he was like, "Put this on." And I'm like, "Okay." So we're sitting there, I do it. And then at the very end of the video, after I do the trick, he goes, "And that was my favorite white boy." And I just kind of chime in and I go, "Well, do I have a name, or is it just favorite white boy?" And he goes, "Yeah, Taylor, but we're going to go ahead and call you White T." Yeah, White T. So White T was born. I actually hated the name. I thought it was the stupidest name I'd ever heard in my entire life. And but I didn't have an option. We went to sleep that night, woke up, and in the morning, the video already had over 100,000 plays on it on YouTube. Gosh, and literally
that's big back then.
Oh, that was, I mean, that's less than 8 hours.
Still be big now.
That's pretty big.
That was less than 8 hours. That was just on his YouTube channel. He goes, "This video will have a couple million plays by the end of the week." And so that's how the name came about. Well, it's like a week later, and I'm in the airport, Dallas airport. I'd forgotten about this. I'm walking to my gate, and I kind of hear someone running behind me. I hear someone going, "Hey, hey!" And I turn around, and it's this lady, and she goes, "I know who you are." And I was like, this is like 8 o'clock in the morning at DFW airport. I'm like, "Am I about to get arrested? Like what's happening right now? Did TSA catch something?" And she goes, "You're White T with Soulja Boy." And I was like, yeah, I am. And like, that was kind of the day I feel like it was born, because like I said, I'd forgotten about even uploading that video, and this had traveled around the world enough for someone to have seen it and then recognized me. Turns out her kid was at the airport, who was a fan of him, and he saw me, and he was too nervous to come up even say hi. Yeah. So at that point, I was like, well, the branding's there. Let's just roll with the name. And like Derek was saying, it's one of those things where the nickname, when it comes to you yourself in your own branding, if that's what you're into, it's got to be unique. It's got to stand out. Like there's never really a time when I meet someone for the first time and I say, "Hey, what up? I'm White T," or "I'm T," or someone introduces me as that. People never forget it. And then to go along with it, I've got goofy looking hair and all that kind of stuff.
My wife for the longest time thought your name was Whitey.
Now I have gotten Whitey. Yeah, Whitey. Definitely have gotten Whitey. The funny thing is it's on my Uber and my Lyft profile. So like I signed up before you had to use like a real name, and they've never made me change it. So it's when I get picked up, I either get White T, like when they say, "Are you White T?" And I'm like, "Yeah, of course, it's me." Or they'll say Mr. White or Mr. T. And that's usually
Mr. T?
Yeah, that's usually how I get picked up.
Shit.
So it's great for when I'm with people who don't know the backstory, or
that's funny.
Or they do.
Like
either way, it's fun. It's a conversation starter. And then it goes one of two ways. Either they don't ask me anything about my name at all, the Uber driver, or like right within the first minute, they're like, so is that really your name? And most of the time I'm like, yeah, it's on my birth certificate. 100%.
Bro, we just gave everybody our origin story.
Yeah.
Superhero.
Yeah. Yeah. There we go.
Yeah.
Are you a superhero fan?
I love superheroes.
So which one?
What's your favorite? If you had to pick one, and I got to say, I'm really impressed.
I'm gonna get, no.
Well,
you want to guess?
No, I'm impressed by the dedication he's had with the belt on his shoulder this whole time.
Now what you're supposed to do? Am I supposed to put it down?
No,
I mean, you can do whatever you want.
Yeah. Hands and print it.
You've been so like
I don't want
locked
to
into
disrespect
it.
it, you know?
Hey, it's I mean, you're a champion right now.
I've never had a belt in my life, so this is it.
That's you're the champion right now.
It just makes me nervous that we're not going to get it back at the end of the show.
Damn, why not?
I feel like we really are. I mean, he's holding on. He's got a death grip on this thing.
Right.
With the superheroes, like he was saying, and the only reason why I don't want you to pick one, I have two.
Okay.
So I'll start it because I want to obviously throw that in. Everybody knows I'm a big Batman fan. That's my number one. And then number two is Iron Man.
Okay.
I like both of those.
Do you like Iron Man or do you like Tony Stark more? Is it Tony Stark's personality?
No, because I kind of don't like that because to me, it's a little, he's more of a dick. Like I can't stand that. Like it's cool. You got the sweet superhero powers and the super money and all that stuff. And you can buy all your cool gear and all that. But just, to me, if I was that guy, like, man, you're out there saving lives. Let's stay a little humbled with it.
Right.
Let's not be a dick and say, hey, I'm better than you. All that crap. But he has some pretty sick gear. But it's funny is like when I look at my two superheroes, I think about how the two guys that I picked aren't really true superheroes. Like a Superman.
The billionaires that
I just picked the guys that have money.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize it until the other day when I was actually thinking about it.
It's an expensive hobby for them.
Yeah.
These guys are just I don't even know if it's really expensive to them because they're literally buying all this gear and they just go out and save lives. And it's like, all right, cool. Let's go get the next coolest thing.
Your move, Mark Cuban.
Yeah. There you go. Checkmate.
Well, see, that's how I feel about Elon Musk. I feel like he could be that guy. If you wanted to
that's like a Bruce Wayne.
Yeah.
And
he might.
I'm going back with him on that one too. Cuban, that's Tony Stark right there.
I would say Elon Musk is more your Tony Stark.
Actually, yeah, you're right. And I'd say
Cuban's more of a Batman, I think.
Yeah.
I'd
say that.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
I would go. My favorite superhero is because I'm so juvenile, and I love fart jokes. I like everything childlike. So my favorite superhero is Spider-Man.
Yeah. See, I was a huge Spider-Man. I was a big fan of the original one with who was the guy that played? Was it Tobey Maguire? The 3D animated one. Yep. See, and then what was the girl that played Mary Jane? Redhead. I had a big crush on her back then.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Anyways, no, I was a huge fan of Spider-Man. Back in the day as a kid, though, I was really into like the X-Men cartoons, which X-Men definitely fall into like true superheroes. Spider-Man, bit by the radioactive spider. X-Men, they're all mutants.
Mutants.
Yep. Yeah. So
I like that though. I was so which one were you though? Like
I definitely gravitated towards Gambit. For whatever reason.
I love Gambit.
With the cards?
Yeah, Gambit had the cards.
Yeah. And cool hair, though.
And
cool hair with
the trench coat.
Yeah, so is that why you're trying to grow your hair out, too? To kind of have cool hair like him?
Not at all. Okay. Yeah, completely
what about
completely wrong correlation there. But I like where your head was at.
I was trying to throw it out there.
Yeah, it was nice.
I really liked Wolverine, too.
No, Wolverine was great. Did you see the video? There was a viral video recently of what's the guy that plays Wolverine?
Hugh Jackman.
Hugh Jackman. So Hugh Jackman he was on some type of trip. Ends up in some type of village, remote village area. And these village kids, they come up to him and they're like all stoked to see him. And they start pointing at their hands, like where the claws would come out. So like in the middle of nowhere where like, it's one of those things like, it's not like there's movie theaters on every corner of the village, type of situation. Yeah. These kids knew exactly who he was and like they can't communicate or speak English, but they're pointing to where the claws come out. And he's like, yeah, that's me. And they're just like, oh snap. This is him, that's got to be a pretty cool situation where you're in the middle of nowhere, remote, location, and they're recognizing you for probably one of his biggest roles,
Do you think they looked at him and was like, man, this guy, like, if we get in trouble, that's who we can go to. Wolverine's actually here now.
Yeah.
Like their imagination just enhances. Like, dude, shaking his hand, they're probably like, shit, like, don't, like, I gotta be careful here. I might lose some fingers or something.
Right.
So,
well, I just think it's probably one of those things where as a kid, like, even if you're not in a remote village like that, you grow up and you see a guy that plays a superhero. You're an impressionable age where like you believe in superheroes and all that kind of stuff. And next thing you know, you're standing next to Wolverine. I mean, that's all he is in their mind at that point. You know,
they don't know him by his regular name. Hey, Wolverine. Hey, good to see you.
But I'm just saying that's probably a huge moment for them. Like they probably can't believe what just happened. Right. Cause I would be tripping out even if I would
lose my mind.
Yeah.
I got cornered every market too because he's on The Greatest Showman. So all the little girls love him from that. They think he's a circus leader from there.
Right.
And all the boys like him for Wolverine.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. Okay. So JC, I've got a question for you.
Yeah.
This is called the Secret Handshake Podcast. Mm-hmm. Now, there is an actual secret handshake.
Yeah, I was wondering when you guys are going to teach me the secret handshake.
Yeah, so just a reminder that you only get to learn the secret handshake if you're a guest on the show. So you're actually going to be the first person to learn the secret handshake.
Am I going to learn it in front of cameras?
So that's what I was trying to figure out what you're going to do. I'll have to let you guys do it.
Well, we're not doing it right now. The thing is,
so it'll be we record
once the show's over and completed, cameras are off. Then we will be teaching.
So he could. That's true. That's true. Okay, so we don't want to give it out. I got you.
Yeah,
no. I was
be giving out to the audience and not to the guest at that point.
Right. And the way I looked at it was, we're trying to put it so it's live that we see them doing it.
So what we are going to do though is we are going to turn off Instagram Live right now because
we apologize for that echo, everybody.
Yeah, everybody that's listening and watching and all that stuff. We had no idea that this was going to happen with the echo. But other than that, I mean, it turned out
not
really
a big deal. I'm sure you guys will all still have a great, fantastic day.
Yeah. I mean, your day will continue to go on.
But you will listen to the actual podcast. There will no echo on that.
But please check it out. Let them know where to go.
I just ended the live video. We did have 1,838 people tune in to the Instagram Live. Yeah, so we appreciate all 1,800 of you.
Okay, he needs a new phone. It just broke. His screen just cracked. No, that's awesome. So that's one thing that I know you're easily going to jump onto this too is how powerful social media is in general. Like if you look at that, like we just had you have a large following.
Thanks, Derek.
Yeah.
I didn't want to say it myself.
He's kind of a big deal.
Sorry. I know you don't want to be like the Tony Stark and be a dick and rub it in our faces of how cool you are.
Yeah.
But I mean, it just goes to show like just in that time spent, how was that? Like 15, 20 minutes?
Yeah, it was about 20 minutes. Yeah.
And you said there was 1,000 people.
1,800 people.
They were putting up with a sound that people can't stand.
Correct.
And they were still everything, which is really cool.
Right. That's what's cool about the fan base, let alone like yours, ours, in general, everything. These people will come out and listen and be supportive of everything. Yeah. And the more that you get, like, for instance, your following that just came in there, because we don't have a large following on the podcast, or I mean, on our Instagram. Yeah. So for you to jump in and them interact, that also just helps us grow even more. And it just goes to show with like that social media following right there, things just kind of take off just by a certain amount of people. Like once you get to a certain amount, you've got so many people in there.
In the world of science, we call that momentum.
Right. So it's like when you connect all these, I'm just saying is having such a large following dictates so much. Like we're going to be able to tie into quite a few things later with how much social media really runs. Well, a lot of things.
Let's get into that real quick. I think if you've been on the internet, you've definitely seen this, the world record egg.
Familiar? Yeah, that's okay. There's a
JC, you seen that?
Yeah, I've seen the world record egg, and it's just everybody trying to break a record that stands from, who was it?
Kylie Jenner. Yeah, so Kylie had a photo she posted with her little baby hand holding her finger. And that got 18 million likes on Instagram, which made it the most liked Instagram photo of all time, right? So,
which is crazy.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's a ton. But then what you had happen, like the internet, they always say the internet always wins, right? Yeah, like anything can happen. And within minutes, there are going to be memes, for days coming out. And it's crazy what the internet can come up with. So I don't know who's behind it or who put it together, but there's a picture, an account on Instagram someone started called World Record Egg. And the whole goal was to take a picture of an egg and then get that single photo of the egg to have more likes than Kylie Jenner's photo. So as of today, when I looked just earlier this morning, the World Record Egg, and this is less than a week that it's actually been up, it's at 49 million likes, which is pretty unbelievable.
They were genius with this because in order to make this happen, you want to be a part of something big.
Right.
So that's why so many people are liking this picture. But you didn't make anyone the face of it.
Well, true. Yeah,
it's just an egg. An object.
Anybody can associate with it, and everyone's dealt with an egg before. Which I don't think the object really matters as much. Like it's not like an egg is funnier than a carrot.
It's not even a funny picture.
Actually, you know what? It might actually be.
Well, it's true. We'd have to talk to some experts. But what I think the thing to learn about this, though, and it should be impressive to a lot of people, is like, okay, yeah, it's a picture of an egg, but in the first 48 hours, they had over 6 million followers follow the Instagram account, and they had already beaten the record in the first day.
Yeah.
It was already over 20 something million likes in the first day, and to be at 49 million within a week. I mean, the level of influence and the span that single post was able to cover. They started egg merchandise within the first 48 hours. But why would you not? And so I think from like a marketing perspective, whether you're a small business or you're a major corporation, whoever put this account together figured out the formula and the cause, which is hilarious because everything, you can rally people behind a cause. It's just funny that the cause was beating out Kylie Jenner's most popular Instagram photo. And
money can buy. Did you see what happened on Twitter? There was a Japanese billionaire who wanted to have it was either the most retweeted tweet or most liked tweet of all time.
Okay.
And he just said, hey, I'm going to give $10,000 at random to whoever retweets this. Because he wanted to break the record.
Wow.
And I don't remember if he did actually break it, but he got really close. Actually, I think he broke it because Ellen DeGeneres owned it. Or Barack Obama, one of those two. But I think he broke it just because he said, I'll pay you if you retweet this.
Well, and that's two different basically scenarios where you got one that's completely organic, not paid, right? Like this egg just was able to rally all these people behind it. But then obviously money's going to incentivize people too.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, that's 100%. Everybody wants money.
Right.
But it's crazy though that you could see that the following just grew. We're competing against an egg. So you have the egg competing against a picture of Kylie Jenner and her kid. Like that's crazy. Just trying to beat something like that. Like that's the kind of drive that we have. Like that to me is interesting. Is that was the record, and now we're just going to let's just put this egg up here, and we'll see if we can beat that.
Yeah. But I think part of that's probably the Kardashian effect in the sense of like, for as many people that love the Kardashians, there's probably several more for each one that likes that does not like that is like a Kardashian hater. So I think in this particular case, it may have been easier than not. Like, let's just say they were going up against some other Instagram celebrity, probably wouldn't have gotten the same level of attention.
I mean, obviously there's a big following for her. I think the other thing too that draws the attention is I want my name on that. Like the egg is. Well, I'd like to be a part of it. Like, let me ask you this: Did you like
the photo? Of course.
You liked the photo? Did you like
I did not like the photo.
I did not either.
I did not get behind this issue.
Okay.
Well, the thing is, I guess I was sleeping under a rock because I had no idea, and then all of a sudden one day I got up and it was like, hey, this picture of an egg is now the world record, and that's where I think that people get involved to it is where they're like, I can see my name being in here. Like they're gonna, if this becomes something big and it becomes like a world record and they have it printed out, my name is now on this.
Right.
Like I'm a part of this.
Exactly.
Whereas, the picture with Kylie Jenner and her kid, it's like that was kind of just following her.
Just thrown out there.
Right.
Yeah, they're just following her,
right.
Her lifestyle and stuff. Whereas the egg is now we're breaking something and people are involved and your name will be seen.
And I would go ahead and vote to say that Kylie Jenner probably could care less because
100%.
She's rolling in the dough.
Oh,
she's on her way to $1 billion empire.
I was gonna say I think she's doing pretty good.
She's almost a billionaire.
I would have voted if it would have been something better. Like if it would have been a nipple. It's just an up close picture of a nipple. Something that made me chuckle. I would have liked it. But
I have nipples. Can you milk me?
Yeah, I would love milking.
I had to throw that out there.
That will definitely be a sound.
I mean, it would definitely be something that would be interesting. That you throw something random, whatever it is, like. How did they come up with an egg to be?
That's what I'm saying.
I see where he's going with it. How's it an egg?
Make me laugh or make me go like, oh, okay, cool.
But that's what I'm saying. Is it? I don't think it matters if it was an egg or it was a carrot or it was a toenail. It's just the concept of
sweet options. By the way,
you're welcome. That was all on the spot.
Freshly clipped toenails or your toenail itself still in the toe?
Still in the toe.
Okay.
Question about the toenail because we've had this discussion on our show. Okay. Are you guys one to smell after you clip a toenail?
I like smell the toenail.
Like I take my clipping and just put it on my face.
Take a little.
Wow, I've never even heard of that concept. Is that from your? That makes me crazy. You smelled your toenail.
I've done it. I'm not saying I haven't.
I don't do it every time, but I've.
I don't think it's something that I'm like. Hey, I clipped this. I wonder what this one smells like today. Yeah. I think more of what I do is usually, and I hate that I do it, but I'll clip it and then flick it out.
Okay,
it's gone.
Same
thing with like a booger. We talked about this.
Right, but I want to know, what are you expecting to get? What is the expectation from smelling the toenail?
It's not the expectation. It's just, it's such a weird smell.
Okay.
Because it's not a gag smell, but it's not a pleasant smell. It's one of those smells that It's like, why am I smelling this?
But do you remember the first time you smelled your toenail?
Yeah.
And what was the driving?
Wait, hold on. You really remember the first time you smelled?
I was a kid.
You have to, because that's not a normal thing to do.
Because I thought I was dying.
You remember the first time you farted?
No,
I mean, you don't.
No, it's not, because that's a natural thing that happens. No one that I personally know until now has ever told me, like, yeah, by the way, I smell my toenails. That's not a normal thing.
I want to reiterate, I don't do it every time. I don't want you guys to think I'm a weirdo, but I have done it.
No, we're past that point. We're past that point.
You smell your own toenail. We don't think
I do remember when I did it, because I felt like I was sick. Because I was like, why does my toe smell like that? So I went and asked my friend if his toenail smelled like that. So then he went and clipped it and smelled it, and he verified that, yes, indeed, his also smelled. So that's why I remember. I was in 4th grade.
Well, I think this brings us to a really great point to introduce this topic, and that is.
Well, hold on. I'm still curious about this, because
we're going to come back. This is getting a little too intense for me right now.
Okay.
So we're making you like want to gag or something?
It's
dry heave.
It's not something that it's not on the show notes. Let's just say that.
Well, that's the point. I love that you threw that out there.
I'm just kidding. I'm just.
He's actually not kidding.
I'm being facetious.
Serious. He really wants to get away from it, because I think it's bothering his stomach.
No,
is it really?
It's not doing that at all.
It's not that bad of a
his
smell.
His eyes are watering right now.
No,
it's not a barf smell, dude.
That's my allergies.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Yeah. That's what we all
So the topic, though, that I think is very fitting right now is, let's go ahead, Derek. I'm gonna hand this to you real quick.
A TP.
What have I just handed you, Derek, for the people listening?
So the people that are listening that don't get to see, we have a nice roll of Charmin toilet paper.
I think
double ply or single.
That might be 3.
What?
This is triple layered.
Triple layered. Yeah.
Triple layer.
Yeah. A little soft, the softer touch.
If you're gonna wipe your butt, you want to wipe it with the softest.
Right. Now, the topic
or a wet wipe
that we wanted to bring up, and I'm sure that you've dealt with this before, is there's two things we need to talk about. There's 2 points of contention.
Okay.
There's the correct way to put a roll of toilet paper onto the toilet paper roll holder.
A huge debate.
So there's 2 ways. There's the way where the toilet paper sits on top and you pull it and it rolls with it, or you flip it around and the toilet paper sits underneath. So you're pulling from underneath the roll versus pulling from on top of the roll.
That would be I'm your toilet paper.
That's the under. Okay, there's
right.
Under.
So
and then there's your over.
And there's the over the top.
Which one?
I like to play on words, and I like to always go over the top.
Wow.
I'm an over the top.
Now that is exactly how I roll. But
no pun intended.
Yeah, no pun fully intended.
Oh.
No, but it's definitely a point of contention in the office, at home, if you live with anybody. That can become a major issue. The other major issue, and this is more of a personal hygiene question, but do you wipe front to back or back to front?
Now, keep in mind your beanbag is down there.
I go beanbag to lower back.
Okay.
And that I think is great, because I was worried about this question when it first came up this morning.
Who goes back to front?
Right. And I was worried if I learned that about somebody, if and I hope you don't go back to front. Okay, thank God, because I was going to have an issue at that point. I didn't know if our friendship or the podcast could continue. And then JC, I was going to feel a little funny if you were a front to backer.
But my only thing is too.
Back to front. Back to front. I apologize.
The other thing that you hear about that comes about this, and that's why it kind of brings to my attention of whether you could be a front to back or back to front kind of guy is. Are you seated or are you standing?
I sit.
Oh yeah,
because when you
that's why I said you could possibly go front. You know,
the compression. The compression.
It's better to do it while seated because everything's exposed.
Right.
A little bit better.
Well,
when
you're not
stand up. You're
making a sandwich. A butt cheek sandwich is what's happening right there at that point.
I mean, do you want to move a couch with the doors open, or do you want to move the couch and the doors are shut in your face? Right.
That's a great illustration.
I've never heard that, and I'm really. That is something that we need to save that one and just advertise that.
Oh,
You've never heard that, Derek? Because I literally just made that up.
I know. That's why it's a brand new. You can hear that only here. Nobody else has it.
That clip will definitely be an episode teaser right there for sure.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Now, as far as the paper goes, too, because I'm having this fight at my house. Are you guys a neat folder? Or are you guys the clumpers?
Oh, the clumper.
Oh, hell no.
I clump.
I'm kind of I would say, I'm more of an. It depends, man. If I'm in a hurry, I don't have time to fold nice and neat. Like, sometimes I just got to take my clothes out of the dryer and put them on the bed and then come back and get them.
Efficiency and saving.
Well, we might have
get you that.
Yeah, but how much? Like, okay, let me ask you this. On top of that, so you go in for a wipe and you get done, and there's nothing there, are you a second wiper just to make sure?
Yeah, I'm a double checker.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good, because that's how. I mean, technically, that's how it should be.
Yeah.
Well, everyone hopes for the ghost wipe, but you can't assume the ghost wipe has occurred. You know.
No, and I agree, and I mean to the clumpiness. I mean, do you
the toilet paper specifically is what we're talking about there.
Yeah, I just realized that when you crumple it all up and stuff, do you go in for a wipe and let's say, hey, you got some debris, you kind of fold it up and go to the next one, do it again, or do you go back and get a whole nother sheet?
See, if I'm a clumper, I don't know what the clumpers do.
Okay, sorry. We'll go to fold.
Yeah, you fold, and then you know that you're not using anything that's been used. So I feel like
it's kind of like double dipping.
You're not really double dipping because you're on
the
other side of the
other side. I know. I get it because
Yeah.
it's just like when you take a bite out of the chip and then you turn it around, stick that back in there. It's not double dipping.
By double dippers, they did come up with they said that there's more bacteria in double dipping than there is if you drop it on the floor, by the way.
I can see that because your mouth is loaded with bacteria, good and bad.
So all you double dippers out there that say, oh, it's just a look. No, it's disgusting.
No, it's terrible.
I agree.
I remember the first time I got called out for double dipping, and I think I was 5 or 6 years old, and we went to Chili's with my parents and then my parents' friends.
Back ribs.
Exactly. And we had the salsa and we had the queso from Chili's.
Yeah.
Like I said, I might be 5, 6 years old. I'm not even in tune with the concept of the double dip. I just know that I want more dip on my chip. And so go in, bite, take the same chip. I'm almost all the way to the dip for my second dunk. And all of a sudden my dad's friend goes, hey, what are you doing right there? And I'm just looking at him like a puppy with his tail between his legs. And he's like, we don't double dip. His name was Randy. Just if you're listening, Randy,
screw you, Randy.
Yeah,
I've
Randy.
never recovered from this moment. And it's what stopped me from double dipping, which is probably a good thing.
Double dipping nightmares?
That moment, I probably was the youngest non-double dipper in existence at that point.
I mean, they have an episode of Seinfeld where they talk about the double dip.
Well, I wasn't old enough, but I love Seinfeld. But I wasn't old enough to know.
No, I get it. And I have double dipped a lot. I'm not going to sit here and say I haven't. So I'm definitely that guy that you guys
I'm guilty as well.
Asshole. Yeah. But I know that in the double dip, though, I do more of the occasional, I stick the chip in, turn it around kind of thing.
That's fine.
And I've also done it sometimes to where, let's say, for instance, carrots. You dip those in there, stick the one side of the carrot in, turn it around, stick that one in, and now I've got both sides already on there ready and I can eat.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
So, I mean, double dipping is obviously, I sit here and I say I hate it and it's gross, but I'm guilty of doing it. I mean, I could probably leave here and end up just going straight into the double dip and not even thinking about it. Yeah. So I'm not going to sit here and try to harp on it too much because I know I'm guilty of doing it and I would gladly keep doing it. Actually, I'll put it this way. I think a double dip is okay to an extent, as long as you're closer with those people that you're around and they're actually, I guess, okay with it as well.
I'll double dip with my wife and my kids.
There we go.
Because my wife's probably going to get some later that, you know what I'm saying? And
I don't have kids and I'm not married.
Yeah. She got a girl, though.
Yes.
You can double dip. You can double dip with the girl.
We always, that's fine. Double dip in there is fine. I don't have a problem with that at all. I just think it's sometimes I occasionally will.
Sneak one in there.
Yeah.
I do have a question.
Uh-huh.
So we all play video games, correct?
Correct.
JC, are you on the PlayStation Network?
I am.
And if we wanted to play on the PlayStation Network with you,
the real question is before you answer that, because I know you have a large following.
Always interrupting me. Always interrupting me. He puts it out. He puts it out on the radio.
Oh, okay, you do. Okay, that's why I was curious, because some guys and that's why I was saying, and I know I interrupted you.
It's okay, Derek. This is my friend, and I know him. Okay.
That's true. You invited him here. I apologize. Some people like to stay hidden.
Right.
Technically, I have 2 PlayStation accounts for that reason.
I'm thinking about starting that.
Just because there's times where it gets frustrating is, let's say me and T are on there playing and, we're just trying to play our own game. Well, you have access to jump into games. Like in Call of Duty, for instance, I could have my own match and everything. And I need to go in there and probably make it private every time. But you don't think about those kind of things when you're on. You want to just get on and you want to play.
Right.
And then people just start chiming in, jumping in, and all that stuff. And, it gets a little frustrating. Or on top of it, like if I'm playing, for instance, Grand Theft Auto, it's a wide open map. You can join my game. I can't make that one necessarily private unless if we did just a me and him private match.
Which is not fun.
Yeah, it's not the same.
Yeah.
But then you get the people that come in as if I'm using Grand Theft Auto because that's the game I play a lot. The open map, you get in there and people can come in and they just start killing you. Then it becomes, man, like I want to just freaking play the damn game and have fun with my buddy and not have to deal with some fan that's coming in and just killing me. So that's the only reason why I made like a second account.
Right.
And again, we call this a first world problem.
It is.
It's crazy. That's what we're complaining about.
And I have thrown my gamertag out there.
On air. Which you guys have a large audience that you reach.
And I received a few follows and requests. And I tried to add all of them. Now they just backed up. And I just felt like my game was lagging a little bit more because I've been playing Fortnite as much as you hate that game. But I felt like my game lagged a lot. And so now you will see me always as away or not offline. Because when I was online, I was getting so many requests.
You're getting messages
that it was just constantly, my game was lagging so bad that I couldn't play. So now I'm always offline, even though when I'm online.
Okay. Well, back to the original question before I was so rudely interrupted. What is your gamer tag? What's your gamer tag on PlayStation Network?
JC5.
And that's JSI, the number 5.
J-SI5, yeah.
Oh, J-SI, the number 5.
Uh-huh.
And I'm glad you said it because you do have to make sure that you put that dash.
Otherwise, there's another bozo.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So, he was pre-existing, I'm assuming?
No, he started it after I did.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Do you think he's trying to catfish people? Is that?
No, my name is J-SI, so... On Twitter, I can't have that. On Instagram, I can't have that. They don't allow you to have the dashes on the names.
You can go underscore, can't you?
You can go underscore, but
that's
just not
cool.
the same.
Yeah, I know.
So I just clumped those together, but on PlayStation, they let me do it. So I did, and somebody else came in and took it. And 5 is that's my lucky number. That's what I wore playing football and all that.
Okay.
What number is JJ Barea?
He was number 5.
That's what I thought he was, too.
I think he still is 5.
Yeah, and unfortunately, he just had that injury. Man, that is got to be one of the most painful things to experience. And it's just sad because he was playing actually really good for us this season. When I say us, Dallas Mavericks.
See, okay, let me ask you that, too. Like, and I really want to come back to you on this gaming thing. I'm a big gamer, but he brought up a good point, and I'm as somebody that's in this business, and you get to deal with this as well, and you're a fan of multiple teams, too. Does it bother you when a fan says we? Now, I'm a fan. I'm a diehard fan. I love my teams.
No. It doesn't bother me because I feel like if you're a fan of a team,
you're part of the team.
You're part of the team.
Correct.
Because the team wouldn't really exist without the fan.
I buy the jersey.
So,
I buy the jersey
to represent.
I want to be part of the team. I want to represent the team. So I feel like I'm part of the team. So it's a we thing.
Right. As an athlete, I like hearing that. It don't bother me. At the same time, like, I always get criticized. Like, I'm a Michigan fan. I didn't go to school there. And I always get criticized. Like, how can you be a fan? You didn't even go to school there. Or why do you say we? Like, you didn't go there. It's the same thing. Like,
because I'm a fan.
We all talk about, you're a Mavericks fan, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So we're all Mavericks fans. Like us saying, well, I'm excited to see what we bring to the table today against Charlotte. Those kind of things.
Right.
I like that because, as you just said too, we are a part of this team. Right. And at the end of the day, like you said, the fans make us. As an athlete, they make us who we are. Without the fans, we can't play.
But here's the thing about fans. If you're going to be saying we and us and all that stuff, you can't also be the overly critical fan.
Right.
Yeah.
So if you're a part of, like Derek, when you're playing ball, you can't be overly critical of your shortstop if he has an error because you guys are teammates.
Right.
Well, I can bash him.
I mean, you can bash him, but you're not going to go on Twitter. You'll say it to his face because you guys are friends, but you wouldn't go on Twitter and go, "You suck. He should be off the team." That's not what. Well, that's what irks me about fans.
Well, if you're Kevin Durant, then you do that. You set up a
side hustle. Yeah, ghost account.
This is actually perfect because now that I think about it. Something that I wanted to bring up to you is somebody that's in the business that does all this stuff with the social media and everything, and you have to hear it from him. How did you take, as you started your whole profession, the criticism? That's something that's been brought up to my attention from fans that have listened to our podcast already, have brought up because they were curious as an athlete's point of view, and it works perfect with you as well. People get on there and bash you. Social media is
What do you feel like is the most critical moment you've experienced from whether it be online commentary or fan interaction directly in person or a phone call or maybe they text the station?
The worst one I've ever had?
Yeah. What's one of the moments that stood out?
Man, here's what's shitty about it. It's that unfortunately out of all the nice ones, and there's more nice than mean, but I hate that I remember the mean ones. I hate it.
There's a reason for it, though.
There's so few.
No, well, it's not that. I mean, hopefully it is. I'm happy for you. Wow. Yeah, I was going to say, God. dang.
Yeah.
No, the easiest thing, and I've mentioned this before, and I always tell kids this, is it's so easy to think about the negative things. We never actually take the time to think of the positive.
Yeah.
You have a good game. You have a good show. You don't sit there and think about, man, I killed it today. I did this, and this right. And then if you have a bad game show, we actually spend more time like, man, I really fucked up. I should have done this. I should have done that. And that's something that people don't understand is, you know,
well, you have to
we respond more to the criticism, the negative stuff.
Well, you need to dwell on the good as much as you dwell on the bad.
Right.
But
And here's the thing on our show. I mean, obviously you might like, there's 4 people on my show that are on the mic all the time. You might like all 4 of us. You might only like 3 of us and hate 1 of us. I might be that one that you hate. And it's the ones that send you negativity when it's not really required, when I didn't do anything wrong. I feel like we had a good show.
Right.
And to go back to the question, what's the one that I remember the most? And I've gotten it a couple times. I had I wish you had died instead of Kid.
Oh, wow.
See, that's
wow.
And here's the thing.
Internet tough guys.
I didn't ask for Kid to pass away.
Right.
I was with him. I would have loved for him to be alive this day.
Right.
That was one of my best friends. For you to say that to me,
it's
and
crazy.
you say you claim you're a huge Kid Craddock fan. Do you think he would have appreciated that?
Yeah.
No,
definitely not.
Do you feel good after saying, I wish you would have died in 2013 to a guy who had a little boy, was about to have a little girl,
right?
Had just gotten married,
right?
And just celebrated his 30th birthday? That's who you wanted to die?
Well, it's definitely, I think it's a symptom of the internet, right? Like it's way easy to sit there behind a computer or behind your phone and say something that you wouldn't probably say to someone's face or maybe even out loud in general, right?
The racism I'm encountering the last couple years because I'm Mexican,
right,
has just gone way. It wasn't that bad before. For some reason, it's just been so over the top lately where people are upset that my wife's white. So I get that all the time. And I know you've noticed it. I used to be so heavily into social media and I was posting all the time and I was interacting all the time. And just those people got to me so much that now I shy away. I try not to read comments because I know I'm going to see one that's negative. And I have to, though, because if it's about my family, I need to get that off.
Sure.
I don't want my wife.
Right.
I don't want my kids to get older and go back into my files and one day see those things.
Right.
And that to me, that's what's frustrating. And I've had some death threats before.
Yeah.
I've definitely screwed up.
I've had a cop sit outside my house before.
Yeah. Know? I mean, there's things happen and nobody's perfect, you know, but the thing that gets me is when you got to say something, if you want to be negative, that's fine. Like we all have to accept that. Yeah. Everybody's going to be hating on something. But the thing is, when you start going over the line and you're talking about the person's family, you're asking for them to die,
right?
Stuff like that. To me, that does nothing. Like you're making more of an ass out of yourself by doing that than just tell. Like I don't care if you want to tell me how bad I suck or you don't like the way I'm doing something. That's fine. Say it to me. Talk to me. But don't sit there and try to take shots of my family or try to tell me that you wish I was dead. Like what? How does that make you better?
How are you bettering the world?
Yeah.
And you know what even hurts me even more is a lot of these people, when I look at their profiles, because I'll go dive deep into a hater's profile to just see why that he's that way or she's that way. And a lot of the times they're sitting there with a picture of their kids.
Right.
You're a parent. How do
you think your kid's going to feel if they see that? And then on top of that, like even to add to it is, have you ever called them out when they say that?
All the time. And they
usually,
tell me don't interact with the haters, but I'm like, I can't help it because I can't let him just slip by like that.
Right.
That's not how
that's the thing is like the way that I can see how you are. I've been around you before anyway. The way that we're wired, like all of us, man, we want to make things right.
Yeah.
And like for me, like, okay, you want me to kill myself? Okay, cool. But why? Why do you want me to kill myself? Right. And then when you ask them or you call them out or you say something to them, no, man, no.
The backpedal
JSi, no. Hey, man, I'm one of your biggest fans.
Yeah.
I love your show. I love what you. That's what usually happens.
The backpedal is so real. I even told one guy, bro, and I don't think fighting's the answer or anything, but this guy just kept calling me gay. Just saying, your wife's a beard, and just the worst names. And I'm like, first of all, that's an insult to gay people that you think calling me gay is a bad thing. Number one. And number two, bro, what makes me gay? And he wrote me, you're the biggest pussy ever, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, all right. So when he called me that, I was like, all right, cool. If you really think that, man, why don't you come down here? We'll get in the ring. We'll get some 8-ounce gloves on and let's see what's up. And if you beat me, cool. And if not, then at least I showed you I'm not a pussy. Like I got in there with you.
Yeah. And that probably changed everything.
It did. And he blocked me and ghosted. And then he went and complained about me, saying I was threatening him. And it's like, I wasn't threatening you. I was asking you.
And here's the thing that he brought up too earlier. Excuse me. Is the internet always wins.
Always.
No matter how good you do it, you try to fix it, whatever, the internet tries to find a way to win.
Well, and the best thing to do is, and it's the hardest thing to do, is just not play into it at all. Just simply because I feel like it's one of those things when, someone's talking trash like that, they don't know you. There's no personal connection there, which to me, it has no value. It means nothing. But the second that you play into it, that's what most of those guys want. Most of those people want. They want that reaction. So as soon as you give it to them, I feel like they're winning. So,
you know what I've noticed now? Because that was old me that was saying, let's go. That's me and like 26, 27-year-old me. Now, I will just respond with, hey, man, you have a wonderful family. Right. Hey, you have a beautiful wife.
Right.
I wish you were as beautiful on the inside as you are on the outside. So I'll compliment them. And then the people that love me, they come in and they sweep it up for you.
That's where I was going to lead.
Right. Like, okay.
That's where I was going with the next part of that is.
Or kill them with kindness.
Yeah. I kill them with kindness now.
If you surprise them, and I have so much fun now with the people that before I was kind of like you, I would kind of talk a little bit smack back, but then I realized then I realized that does nothing for me because they got what they wanted now. Now, when you start talking to them, in which I'll try to figure out some ways and maybe I'll have some fun with it. And then if they keep bashing me, okay, cool. I'm going to kind of make a little bit jabs because the thing it sucks about in our professions is we can't say anything back because they win from that and they can use that against us.
Well, it can get spun in a negative way. So again, this is why you don't say anything back.
Exactly.
But the thing is, you have to be real with yourself. You're not going to just not say anything. I'm sorry. Like, I don't care who you are. You got to respond because that's how this is what they want. And the thing that cracks me up.
Well, you don't have to respond is the thing. Like you're saying you just give them the reaction that they want. Like if you don't respond at all, they don't win.
But I'm saying but I'm having fun with it when I react to it.
Right.
Because the thing is, you need
fun at times. If you're not too mad, it can't be fun.
Well, it's like, is it Whataburger or Wendy's that has the epic?
Wendy's.
Okay, Wendy's roast people on their social media. Yeah, like someone starts jabbing them or talking trash or saying McDonald's has better French fries.
That's how you do
it. They go in on that person and turn them into a meme, basically.
And the thing is, like, where I'm trying to go with it is more of if you just keep it entertaining and loose, like that guy's not going to win. Like no matter, he's going to continue to get more and more pissed off and try to take more and more jabs. And you just keep throwing, like you said, the random kindness or something that's making them laugh. Like for me, when you're on this and you have the negativity, like we were talking about, if you don't have thick skin, you probably shouldn't read it at all.
Right.
But at the end of the day, I take all my negativity and I use it to motivate me.
Right. See, I take JC's approach. It's not on the internet. I really could care less. Like I've had people say negative stuff. I literally don't respond at all because I'm not going to give them like any attention. But where I can relate to JC,
you catch me on the wrong day, you might.
Right. I relate to JC though is road rage. So I used to I was real quick to the horn and you could set me off pretty quickly. Now I do the exact opposite. Like when somebody does something, cuts me off, honks at me, flips me off, whatever, I literally smile and I say a quick little prayer for them. I say, God bless their family, bless their kids. I hope that they have a great day.
Religious. I like it.
Well, no, because I was like, what is the exact opposite thing? Like, what is the most extreme opposite version of me losing my cool? And it would be for me to hope that good things happen to them. So now that's just been my technique because.
So good karma.
Call it whatever you want, but I would rather just, all right, you're going to put out negative energy. I'm not going to let your negative energy on the highway or the road become like the rest of my day or even like the next couple hours. Like, so I'm going to combat that with positive energy and, whatever that is. It doesn't have to be a prayer. It can just be like a nice thing that you say about them. But I smile and I don't play into it because again, that probably eats them up inside.
It just reminded me of what my buddy does. He created these cards, and he has them in his car,
like flash cards that he holds out the window.
They're like little poster boards that he can hold up on his window, right? So it's right
That's
there
great.
in his glove compartment, I guess. And one time this dude cut him off, and he reached over. I'm like, what are you doing? He reaches over. He's like, that was cool. Number 5. Pulls it up and holds it up to the window as we drive by him, and I just see the guy just lose it. Just like, I'm like, what? And he pulls it back up, puts it back in. He didn't get mad, didn't yell at him. I'm like, what is? So I pulled it out, and he said, your mom should have pulled out. That's all it's So he goes, I just have like 7 to 10 different messages on these things, and he just holds it up for these people as he drives by. It's just Fold it up, puts it back. Doesn't yell at them, doesn't flip them off, just holds up the cards.
Would it have been your dad should have pulled out?
What did I say? It was your dad. Your dad should have pulled out.
Yeah,
I was going to say,
okay, good catch.
I misspoke. Yeah.
Sorry, we got to make sure that one's
Well,
correct.
Derek paid attention to anatomy class. That's obvious.
But I mean, going with that too, like, I have a lot of fun with it. I mean, there's always going to be somebody that's being negative because, like, the way you got to look at it too, you can't make everybody happy.
No, you never will.
And we're all going to make mistakes at some point.
And not everyone's gonna like you. It's
right, and that's okay.
And that's why totally I'm saying, like, cool. When they, when people tell me how bad I suck, like, I'll make a couple comments, and if they keep going, if they keep going with it, then okay, like, I made my peace with you. Like, if you want to keep hating me and talking shit to me, that's cool. Like, it's not going to ruin my day because my day continues to go. Mm-hmm. If you want to sit here and stay and be the keyboard warrior, by all means, go for it. But at the end of the day, I'm going to see your message. I'm going to just go by it. I'm going to have either fun with it or I'm just going to move along.
Right.
And there's days, like I said, like with you, how you're saying, like, man, all right, meet me in the ring. Let's go. I've had days where I'm like really, really pissed off and I'll read it and I want to really go hard right after.
Yeah.
But then it's like, I always take that time now. I'm like, I'm not going to win this. So who cares? Like, cool, you got your battle for the day, like whoop-de-doo.
Right.
So
now where this doesn't apply though is playing PlayStation or Xbox online when you got the headsets on.
Man,
it's free game. Tough, like that. Bro. Now that's a different story. That's fun. That's kind of part of the game.
Some little kids are
they're brutal.
Their mouths are like
brutal. It's like your mom's probably not home right now while you're playing this game.
And that's true. And I mean, the thing is with that, like, so I stream. I don't know if you do or not. You should. If you don't. Okay, you should. You got a large following. You should really look into it. But with that, like, I still have to be a little bit cautious.
Well, yeah, but I'm just like, let's take a serious face off for a second, Derek. Let's just have fun for a second on the podcast.
I know that. I'm just saying, like, it's
the moral of the story here is,
if I don't have my stream going, I'm going.
What I'm saying is, like, back in the day when I was playing Halo online, like, that was my game on Xbox 360. I was playing Halo 1 and 2, and I lived for, like, I had my little crew, my little clan, and there was like the four of us that would go play. I loved the trash talking element of it because it is lighthearted and it is fun and it's kind of part of online gaming. Like, I've never been in an online game match where that didn't exist in some kind of capacity, and it's a form of entertainment. So I think there's the moments in life where it's okay to do that, like you're with your buddies or it's online and it's like fun. And I know that you still have to be careful about it, but then there's the other times when it's like what we were just talking about, like where it's actually someone genuinely trying to make you feel bad. And so I
had one where I didn't mean to make a kid feel bad. So I played Fortnite, and they have the same thing in Black Ops where you got to jump down on your island, right?
Right.
And sometimes I'll have a squad of 3, and we need one to fill in. So you let the world let you give you somebody. And sometimes you get a guy that's try hard, and they think they're really good, so they just want to break off and do their own thing on a squad mode. So you're already putting me at a disadvantage with my 2 other boys,
right? And
that happened once in a game, and I remember I just started going off on the person. And their mic wasn't showing, so I figured they don't have a mic. It's just some try hard freaking dude trying to get a bunch of kills. So I said, "This freaking douchebag, blankety free." I start going off on the guy, and then I hear the mic move. Hello.
Oh,
and I'm like, "Oh, bro, what's your name?" Jonathan. How old are you, Jonathan? 6. Dude, I was like tail between my legs. I'm like, "I'm sorry, buddy. I didn't know you were a kid." He goes, "It's my first day playing." So I'm like, "Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry." So that's when it goes wrong sometimes.
That could have been a troll just messing with you.
Could have.
I'm gonna get this guy.
Yeah. We ended up going to him and like meeting up with him because I felt so bad. He goes, "Can you guys protect me?" So we did, but. And then there's the kids that just sit there and just curse you out.
See, that's the thing. Here's my thing with that, man. If we're gaming, and that was a really high pitch right there.
Yeah, you got real excited.
Because I got fired. This is my take on this. When we're playing games or anything sports-wise, man, you're competitive. The doors are open.
Yeah.
If you come into this is my dojo. If you come in there, like that's it. Like you are free game. Like, forget about the Twitter world, all that stuff. Like, no, I'm sorry, man. We're playing games. As soon as you make one comment to me of talking crap while we're playing the game on. You better believe it's fair game now. Yeah. There's no more of this protect me. Like, that's the thing that pisses me off too, is we're so soft of being, getting our feelings hurt or offended when it comes to talking crap on video games or any of that. You're the one that opened the door when you say shit like, "You suck, I hate you." you're a waste of space in this game. I'm sorry. Hey, doors are off.
Yeah.
Like, you just lost this one. I'm coming
gonna
right at you now. Yeah. You want to try to make my life a hell when I'm playing this game? No, screw that. I'm sorry. I'm going to come after you. Cause that's, to me, it sucks in when we're playing video games and stuff like that or whatever. If you're going to sit and talk smack to people, you should be able to get ready for it to come back at you. Actually, that should be like in general.
Don't dish it out if you can't.
Yeah.
If you can't.
If you're going to come at and
let it get dished back in.
Like if you're going to come onto his Instagram or Twitter and you start bashing him or whatever, or you're playing the video game Fortnite and all that stuff with him and you start talking crap, there's no way he should be able to just sit there and be like, well, I can't because he's going to report me or whatever. No, I'm sorry. Like, you came at me. It's my turn to come back at you.
It's knuckle puck time.
Yeah. Thanks, man.
The cool thing that I've noticed is when I've given out my tag, though, are the people that join me that do listen to my show and they're fans of our show and the people on
right.
They've all been dope.
Oh, I'm sure.
Same here.
One bad experience with a fan of our show being a jerk on there.
Right, and I think that's where the focus should be. Cool. Is like just focus on the good and let the bad stuff weed itself out. You know,
the randoms, bro. The randoms are so.
It's more of like the open part, like when you get to a new thing. Yeah, I get that, and I think too, like what's so awesome about, and I'm speaking more on my behalf right now, is the fan base that plays games with me. I tell them too, and like I'm about to stream. Hey, open doors. Let's have some fun. Roast each other, like whatever you want. We're gonna have some fun with it. Like I always tell them, like I'm a big fan of Office. When we say something on the stream, you know, just include hashtag boom roasted. You got them, because there's guys that'll come into the stream and they just talk shit to me, and of course I have fun with it. Like I don't care now. Like I'm in my own element now. I get to play video games. I'm having fun with the fans. You want to talk shit? Cool. Now we're just gonna have some fun and feedback on each other. And
right.
So I think that's something that's cool that I do with my streams. Is yes, you got to watch what you say. I mean, obviously none of the dumb bullshit that you should be saying. Just keep it like normal, have fun, and then we can go from there. I do a lot of content
up on a paper.
Yeah, I mean, we're trying to have fun here. If you want to talk some smack, I like it. We're gonna go back and forth with it because that's how we are. Like we want it to be a loose. Like I've got girls that come in there and they talk smack or they like some of the stuff we're doing. We have a good time. Like that's, to me, I want my stream to be open to everybody.
I'm just glad I didn't have that as a kid. I don't think the whole streaming and being able to talk to other people.
Right.
I feel like.
See, I did.
Me going through puberty, I would have been an idiot.
Oh, I had fun with it. It was so much fun.
Well, I mean, all you do is you're a tough guy on there.
Right. And really, I mean, I'm glad you said all that because now everyone listening knows that if you say something mean, you don't mean it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's true too. I mean, technically,
roast.
That's kind of how you're doing it when you're playing games. If you're
supposed to roast each other.
That's part of the gaming.
Okay, so I want to switch this up real quick. We're gonna go back to the internet. Okay. So we talked about the egg, world record egg. Now everyone probably has experienced the 10-year challenge.
Yes.
Right.
Oh yeah.
So 10-year challenge. What's happening is if you haven't been on the internet, everyone is taking their first profile picture or roughly a photo of them from 10 years ago and putting it side by side to a current picture to show how well the 10-year challenge treated them. Do you look better? Do you look worse? Now, we don't need to explain that any further, but something interesting that was brought to my attention, I want to see what you guys think about this. JC, we can start with you, is there was a tech writer for a technology magazine that brought up kind of this point that I don't think anybody's thinking about, maybe a select few, kind of leans into the conspiracy side of things a little bit, but it's really not off base when you think about everything that, technology encompasses now in terms of, your phones are listening to you, ads, targeted ads, all that kind of stuff. And so what this tech writer came up and said was that they're not going to participate in the 10-year challenge because this seems like the perfect way for artificial intelligence or a data collection company to, let's just say, have come up with the idea to start this meme to get people to post 10-year photos of them. What this does is allows artificial intelligence and algorithms, et cetera, to be created so that they can learn this is what it looks like when millions of people around the world show you their age progression from 10 years ago. So how can that be used against you in age progression and recognition software down the line? They might, it's like the police when they do the pencil drawings, when there's a criminal and they're trying to figure out who did it. There's so many different things that that could be used for. And we don't know if that's really what the 10-year challenge is all about. But when I read that and saw that, it definitely piqued my interest. And I was like, yeah, I'm definitely probably not going to participate in that now just because it seems a little, let's not take the risk.
For some reason, I don't know why, but I don't know if it was a security breach that happened with Facebook and how we all got scared. Anything that starts on Facebook, which this started on,
right?
I just don't want any part of it.
Right. Well, you're definitely setting yourself up. Like, it could totally be harmless and have nothing to do with that. But
I don't know, man. I'm so skeptical about stuff that gets going on Facebook just because of everything that's already happened in the last 10 years with Facebook.
Right.
And I know Instagram is a Facebook company and everything, but for some reason I feel safer on there. And this one didn't start on Instagram.
Right.
I don't know why, but I would have done it if it was Instagram started.
Right. Yeah. Well, I mean, if you think about it, though, it's not that crazy. Like, if I'm a data collection company, right, and I'm trying to think of a way like, hey, we really want to teach our artificial intelligence and our algorithms how to do this. Well, we just got a sample of the entire population.
Yep.
A pretty significant sample. People all around the world, celebrities, athletes, regular, just everyday Joes, posting up this information. And data is king now. So I don't know. It's one of those things. Derek, how do you feel about it? It's kind of.
By the way, this is my mine was pretty fire. It made me laugh because.
Oh, did you do a 10-year?
Well, that's what I was going to do.
I just went back and looked at my first ever picture just to see what I was looking like.
See, I didn't do that.
And
we need to post those since he's the first on the first.
We just said we're not participating in the 10-year challenge, and now we have to post.
We're just going to post it. We're not going to put it side by side so they can gather our information, but.
Oh, they'll still get it.
Just put a picture of us from 10 years ago. Don't even put the other picture of us from now.
Okay.
They know what we look like.
Don't let them what's happening.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's the.
So your boy was rocking.
Oh, wow.
Oh, my.
Wow. Looking like you were fresh out of a boy band.
That is.
Is that Backstreet Boys? What is that?
My diamonds from Claire's.
Wow. In the ears.
In the ears.
You got the little soul patch. Is that a soul patch on your chin right there?
I had the soul. Yeah, I had the soul patch, which I just got rid of.
You said flavor saver. Is that what you were saying, Derek? Okay.
I had frosty tips. Not too crazy, but still enough to let you know, hey.
And he spiked it too.
I spiked it.
And it looks like that was from a show photo shoot?
Was that your senior picture?
That was my first ever headshot.
Okay, that's for
those
press.
Are senior pics. Don't let
senior
it
pics.
That's his high school senior pics.
My senior pics garbage, bro.
Oh, I've got mine. I don't know where they are though. They're around here. But
my senior picture is the saddest thing I've ever seen because I looked bloated and my hair was gelled down so hard, like freaking I was from the 40s.
Well, and you think that you're doing like the most awesome, epic senior photos, but you have no life experience to realize that in 10 years, I'm going to hate these.
This girl from my high school found it and posted it on my page.
Which isn't a big deal to most people, but when you have hundreds of thousands of people that follow you.
It embarrassed me so much, man. Man, if I find it.
Wait, so stuff like that embarrasses you?
Yeah.
Come on. You got to just embrace it and have fun with it.
I'm going to be honest. I'm a little vain. I want to look right. Even from when I was a kid, my mom.
Well, I think that's natural. I mean, everybody probably wants to look good.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you don't just walk around today. I'm going to stay looking like a piece of shit. I'm going to be a polished turd for the evening. Thank you guys. Like, no, we get it. Like, everybody wants to look good.
I just hate that my senior picture is the picture I hate the most of all time. Like, hate it.
Where was this taken? In San Diego?
San Diego, high school picture, man. It was just the worst.
And it's funny, like thinking about that.
I look older then than I do now.
Thinking about that too, like you just said, like we care about our looks so much. It's actually true. Like we really take the time of, I don't want to do this in public. Like for me, I actually don't. I don't care as much. That's my bigger thing. Look, Wrigley. Look behind you. Sorry, we're trying to get my dog to walk outside. He had no idea.
Yeah.
Staring at you.
That's the big thing is like we really worry so much about what my appearance looks like.
Yeah.
But I think that's natural.
Yeah, but why get caught up in it so much? Because it's, again, like we talked about earlier, you're not going to make everybody happy. You're not going to have everybody wanting you because
right. But I think there's a fine line between like.
But be happy with yourself.
Right. But I also think you can be happy with yourself and still stealth. Hey, listen.
That's very stealthy.
We already know the word. We already know the word statistically was very difficult for you last week. Okay. Oh, did you find your high school photo?
He's got the.
Let's see it.
Oh,
no way.
Clean. You look like a lawyer.
Bro, I know.
You don't even look like the same person.
That's not even a kid. That's like a.
I told you I look older on this.
That's a man that's about to go to a court case.
Yeah, I mean, you look like you might.
My hair's all like a cow licked me.
You look like a judge or something like that. That just got
in session.
Yeah.
That's my senior.
Wow.
We need to. Maybe that's what we need to do. Let's try to pull those out.
Look at that hairline, though, man.
I don't have time for that right now, but we can post them later.
Well, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah. I didn't say right now.
Yeah, hey, calm it down.
Tough crowd here today, guys. The 10-year challenge thing, I think it's cool. But I liked it more, and we were talking about this before you got here. They were showing clips of like the glaciers and stuff, and how much those have changed, or the
Earth 10-year challenge. Yes. Yeah, those are scary.
See, that to me, I think it kind of goes more. I think with what you were saying, like it's kind of crazy. Like we're seeing how we need to start paying attention to that more than we do what we looked like 10 years ago. We need to look more about the stuff on the outside.
What I was saying had nothing to do with that. So maybe you should pay attention to the podcast. What I was saying was, yeah, time to pay attention.
Yeah, you're the only one laughing at your own joke.
Oh no, JC gave me a really nice courtesy snicker.
He gave you a smirk.
No, I just like the couples fight right now that's going on.
He gave you the nasal.
Thanks. I appreciate that. It was which is better than nothing. Yeah, which is better than radio silence. What I was saying though was, yes, to your point, it is crazy seeing the way that the earth has changed. We should care about that. But should we care about our data, aka our photos, going out like that on the 10-year challenge, and have any concern in relation to data and privacy? That was my specific question.
We're in the age now that privacy is not really, I mean, it's huge, and it's starting to scare a lot of people.
Well,
because we've talked about this before with the cell phones, listening
but it's probably just right now where your everyday person is just starting to think about that concept, because we all just click accept. Like we just all want to use the app. Like you download the app and it's like, read the terms of service. You don't check it out, accept. But I think now it's one of those things with all the stuff that's happened with Facebook breaches and hacks to, Equifax, or one of the big credit score companies that leaked, Target. I think people, because of all of that, are starting to pay attention more. So I think that's why you're seeing this tech writer come out and say, hey, this might not be what's happening, but I'm not going to take the chance and like play into that.
I think that we're at a point where it's too late for any of that.
Right.
Well, Elon Musk has said it's too late. Remember we talked about it? It's getting to the point where it's too late. We're not paying attention.
It's too late.
Right.
And I mean, we talked about this on the last show, and I'm not going to really harp on it too much, but your cell phone gives away so much stuff. Like we're sitting here talking about, for instance, this 10-year challenge. Well, no, it'd be something different, but something that we've talked about today is going to show up in an ad on your phone.
Exactly. And it happens all the time. That's what scares me.
That's our safety. That's our public, or not public. That's it is public, but it's just something that now everybody can get a hold of.
Or your Alexa. I notice when I'm in the room and my kid gets in trouble and I'm just going off on him dad style, yelling at him, and I notice Alexa's little light lights up.
Right.
Like it's like, yo, I'm watching what you're doing.
Well, Alexa has a chip in it, because I looked into how that works, because I was wondering, okay, if it's not listening to me, like technically recording everything that I'm saying, how does it know when I say the word Alexa? Like if it's not on and recording all the time, right? How does it know when I say
to your voice?
So it has a chip in there that is specifically listening for the word Alexa. Mm-hmm. Alexa is like basically saying turn on, so it's listening for that specific word. It's not listening to, so they claim it's not listening to everything else. But the second that trigger word happens, in this case Alexa, or if you rename it, then now it's actually listening to everything you're saying and uploading everything you just said to the cloud. It's computing it really quickly, and then it's spitting out an answer within a second.
And how scary are those DNA tests too now?
Oh, we just covered that on the last. See, we got to be careful. We're gonna turn this into the exact same episode as the first one.
Go back on that.
Yeah, we did just talk about that.
We did do that. So maybe you should listen to the podcast.
Yeah,
I listened to it a little bit.
What we just found out is our first guest does not listen to the first episode.
The full first episode.
Yeah, man.
Times are tough.
I thought we made it, and
I clearly, it looks like we're backtracking now.
Clearly, we have not made it yet. So one day we will get to the point where the guest.
Get another guest?
No, I think it's okay. We're in the infancy.
This is the first official episode.
We will be taking that belt back for sure now.
Yeah, definitely. Your 2-hour time span is definitely closing down.
Yeah, so I've got a story that I just thought was funny, and you might have heard about it, but I saw it on the internets, and there was a woman banned from Walmart this past week. Anybody catch that headline?
Yes, I did.
Yeah.
Okay, so the story for people who hadn't heard it. Police were called to a Texas Walmart. Shout out to Texas. Usually I feel like this is a story you hear in Florida. But police were called to a Texas Walmart after a woman was reportedly drinking wine from a Pringles can and riding an electric cart in the parking lot. It says the officers responded to the call around 9 a.m. about a suspicious person in the store's parking lot. And investigators found the woman at a nearby restaurant and told her she was banned from the Walmart. The caller said the woman had been riding around the store parking lot since 6:30 a.m., drinking wine from a potato chip can.
Now, hold on. Let me, because I
call that a party.
Yeah, that's what I was getting ready to say. Do you think it was still like the bottle in the can, or is the bottle like she poured everything?
Yeah, she can't pour it in that can.
No, because the Pringles can is no. I think it was
there's cardboard.
It's got the metal bottom.
Okay,
and you got to think a wine bottle is not going to fit into a Pringles can. The width is not going to match up. So I think that somehow this is the funny part. This woman, and this is again at 6:30 in the morning.
That's a man.
Walmart's open. Some of them 24 hours a day. So she must have already been turned up. Shows up at Walmart for whatever reason. Does she get the cart first and ride around the Walmart and then get the wine and the Pringles? Or does she go to the wine and the Pringles and then get the cart and then cruise out to the parking lot?
Yeah.
Well, I think she was already turned up. I'm assuming.
I mean, again, I don't know enough about the story. I think she definitely.
Well, you really don't have to know anything about it. I just told you.
I know. We got to hear all of that.
Derek wasn't an eyewitness, so he can't formulate an opinion.
No, I just think there had to have been something like. Wait, hold on. Do you think she ate the Pringles too first?
I would hope so, because that sounds like a really disgusting glass of wine if it's Pringles.
No, I know that. I'm saying like she could have just poured them out.
That's true.
That's what I'm saying.
But that would be wasting at that point.
Correct. But at that point, like you said, she might have showed up. She's already intoxicated. So the Pringles are not even an option.
I think she was already loose as a goose when she showed up, turned up to the maximum. She sees the wine. She sees the wine. She sees the Pringles. She sees the cart. And she's like, I'm about to have myself a great time right now, and I'm going to go take a little stroll and cruise through the parking lot, joyride the parking lot in an electric Walmart cart.
And I guarantee you,
salt and vinegar wine.
They could tell. That's the best chips too. I guarantee you, they could tell her she's banned all she wants, but she can go back tomorrow and she'd be fine.
I don't know. They usually do a pretty good job about that kind of stuff. They'll have I've seen it at Walmarts where they have a picture of the person printed out and they put it right on the front door. So this person is banned. And then in the back room where all the staff check in, they have the same picture back there. If you see this person in here, they must be escorted out.
So you think somebody's watching the cameras now?
Well, not necessarily watching the cameras, but definitely like
I kind of agree with him.
I was banned from the Galleria, bro.
No, listen.
And I've been back. I haven't been tackled once.
Listen, I'll give you an example of Walmart. So
I'll throw it in their face all the time. I'm like, I go back.
Well, listen, I was at a Walmart within this last year. Okay. I went to go pick up whatever during the day. And as I'm getting ready to head towards the cash register, actually, that's what it was. I was grabbing some deodorant. All I have is the deodorant in one hand. I'm walking to the cash register and this big security guy, like I'm talking major security guy, shows up. He's like a 3X, 4X guy. He comes over and he goes, so you having a good day today? I was like, yeah, having a great day. And I keep walking towards the register and he goes, is there a reason that you're back here at Walmart? And I go, yeah, I was just getting this deodorant. And I go, is there a problem? Because I could feel the tension. I was like, this isn't your typical, I mean, they barely talk to you when you're there in the first place. So it's like, okay, this is a lot of dialogue happening. So he goes, well, after the incident last time, I thought we told you to never come back here. And I was like, I think you have the wrong guy, man. Like I've never been told that. And I'm usually like calm, cool, and collective every time I'm here. And he goes, your name's not Jeremy? And I was like, nope. He's like, you sure? And I was like, yeah. Positive. He goes, oh man, my bad, dude. We just had this guy that looked exactly like you in here the other day, and he stole some deodorant from us. And so,
whoa, what the heck?
So,
what are the odds?
So
hot item,
they were paying attention. And Walmart's got, in most of the stores now, they have the aisle security cameras. Every security camera or every aisle, at least stuff that gets stolen often, has a camera right there. It says you're on camera being recorded. And so I'm sure that this guy is in the back. He sees me. He's like, that's the deodorant thief.
Man, don't you feel bad for homeboy that got in trouble for stealing? It's not like he's stealing jewelry. He's stealing deodorant.
Yeah, he's definitely.
He's trying to smell good.
I know. He's just trying to smell good item for a job interview because he's broke.
Right. Necessity item.
He's trying to get ahead in life.
But so I would say that it is a possibility that you could get, back to the woman.
So Walmart's on top of it.
They're on top of it. I have a feeling if she goes back to that, this made national headlines. There's no way they're not going to know that she's the one that's back.
But we got to still get back to how this wine got into this bottle.
I just don't get it.
Well, into the Pringles can.
Yeah,
wine was already in the bottle. That came from the producer. The producer put it in there.
Since you're talking about Pringles cans too, I'm still wondering why Pringles has not brought me the push-up can The one, you know how the push-up pops?
Like the push-up pop.
How often can you fit your damn hand in that freaking...
Yeah, you always turn it this way.
You gotta turn it and all the crumbs fall out.
That's a great point.
It pisses me off because I'm losing a lot of chips.
Well, it's like the classic Flintstone push-pop ice cream. That used to be like one of my go-tos.
Way to listen to him.
Easy science.
You
said Flintstone push-pop ice cream?
Uh-huh.
Wow, I didn't hear that.
I said a push-pop ice cream.
Oh, I didn't hear that part either.
Yeah.
Wow, I'm sorry. Derek, I apologize.
You should.
Yeah.
Derek's listening, though.
Make it sincere. Show us how you really feel.
Hey, I'm so sorry.
No, that was good.
Okay.
I appreciate that.
Hey, Derek, I just want to let you know I'm really sorry about that. And more importantly, JC, I want to apologize to you because I wasn't listening.
It's all good.
Yeah.
Hey, did you guys hear about this chick that was driving around a Walmart parking lot with a wife? she got banned from there.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
So,
Exactly.
yeah, back to that, though. So I kind of do agree with you of pouring it in there. Because there is wine that I've had before that's in the cardboard.
Yeah.
So that's why I feel like it could still, I think it would be okay. And
You have to drink it fast.
All right, guys.
Yeah,
listen,
but do you think it's?
I don't think.
Is this a science fair project we're going to do?
No,
How
guys,
quickly
listen.
the bottle, or I mean, the Pringles can dissolve?
Here's the point we're missing here. The fact is I don't think that she sat there and thought about, hey, how long is this wine going to last and not drip out of this?
Chugging it.
She's already turned up. She's joyriding on an electric grocery cart. She's having a good time. She did not care about whether the wine would spill or not spill.
And they didn't charge her with a DUI, which, by the way, you can be charged with that if you're...
They charged her with one?
No, they did not.
Okay, gotcha.
They didn't?
No. And normally you can. I knew a guy that got charged with one on a skateboard in San Diego.
Okay, so interesting story. It's just one of those things. I think you guys do a tidbit news on the show. We don't have all the facts. We're just kind of breaking it down.
What's up.
We're also not stealing your bit. I hope you don't feel like we just stole your bit.
No, it's fine.
Okay.
Tidbit news. That's the best. That's a conversation basically that you have with your boys.
We're just shining light on tidbit news. So the other thing that I was reading about is China. We're talking about space travel. China just landed on the dark side of the moon. Now, what most people think about the dark side of the moon or know about the dark side of the moon is we never see it. It's on the opposite backside, and the way that the Earth spins and the moon spins and does whatever it does, you just never see it.
And it's incredibly cold back there.
Well, there's a lot of conspiracy associated with that. A lot of like what they say. The conspiracy theorists, they say that there's space or moon bases on the backside of the moon. You're also you can't really communicate with it because it's blocked, right?
Yeah.
So China, they just grew the first plant on the dark side of the moon. Like they set up like a lunar terrarium. They had cottonseed shoots that they used to grow in space, and the whole thing was to test like, can you actually make this happen?
They should have grown some weed.
Yeah. Well, while we're talking about this, they should have grown what?
Some weed.
Well,
can you imagine how much money they would make if they grew moon
from
weed?
The moon?
Well, and technically, I guess they could have brought it back to sell it legally in one of the states that you can sell it legally in.
And it's not illegal to grow on the moon.
And so one of our cameras just went out. I'm going to go ahead and
we have to
pop the new batteries.
Slight break on that.
Well, we're not taking a break. The video
that's what I'm saying. The visual is gone.
But the bad news,
yours is
I'm going to switch his out as well. But the thing about the plant that they just grew on the dark side of the moon, China, is it already died. It was like only starting to grow for like 2 days, and then the temperature dropped like an incredible amount, and killed it. But
R.I.P. bro.
R.I.P. to the moon plant.
And that's on the dark side. I walked away to go take a
on the dark side of the moon, which that kind of brings up what we talked about Elon Musk earlier. We talked about in the last podcast, but he has a vision to inhabit Mars, and he's got a whole plan. They're going to be sending people to Mars and trying to basically create a livable habitat. My question to you guys is, given the opportunity, without having to take really take things out of it in terms of like I'd be leaving my family or any of that kind of stuff. Just the concept alone of being the first, quote unquote, citizens, inhabitants, whatever, of Mars. Would you do it? Why or why not?
No.
I don't think I could.
Couldn't do it. I don't like the terrain up there. I don't see us having any sort of ocean up there. I know they can do fake lakes and all that good stuff. But
right. But okay, let me rephrase that.
Okay.
If it was more of you're not having to go set up base. Like it's already established. There's a lot of conveniences. Like they've simulated a lot of that stuff, and it's just the main. I think maybe the main question would be: you're away from Earth, and you're completely detached from like what you've grown up knowing.
Yeah.
You're light years away. So let's pretend like all the conveniences and the stuff that you would want to have there is there, but you're on Mars and you're the very first. You're going to go down in history books.
My name would be in a history book
as one of the first multi-planet citizens.
That's enticing. Being first at something is enticing to me. But I just don't think I could. I couldn't do it because traveling back to visit family, if that's allowed or possible, would always be a 50-50 equation. You know, like you might not make it back. It takes a toll on your body.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I mean, it's just, you said everything would be there too. So, I mean, it's, right? Is that, he did say that.
Yeah, he said, right? So all that living wise, the biodomes and
like to me, I mean, that it's cool, but I feel like, you know, having all of that there, it's just not the same. Like we're now, I know he said don't take into consideration being away from everything, but you're still like, I don't know how else you can look at that. You're away from everything. It's a brand new beginning.
And I'd constantly be afraid that obviously they would have to set up something for atmosphere, right? Imagine how much we screwed up our own shield, you know, living on Earth with the UV rays and what we've done to the environment here. Imagine what we've done here. One little fuck up there and they crack or whatever, and everybody dies like that.
Yeah.
So all that would take is just one minor meteor hitting that glass or whatever they built to protect you. That would just wipe you out instantly.
Yeah, and that's why I'm saying it's like a different. To me, it's a different animal. I don't want to go. I don't want to start basically over.
Yeah.
It's not like we could just take everything that's here and transfer it straight over there. Like it's not going to work that way. Like we have to be able to restart everything. And the only thing I would say is let's not make the same mistakes there that we have here. Kind of like you already said that. And the other thing too is now, like if I'm over there, do I get to play baseball again over there? Do I have the same kind of life that I have there? Or am I doing something?
Ball speed's probably not going to be there. You know what I mean? The gravity's going to be a little bit different. So
well, that's the only thing.
About 40 miles an hour.
Yeah, well, hey. But the ball's not going to travel as far.
It's going to stay up quite a bit, yeah. Yeah, I feel. So I mean,
there's many different ways to like look at that. Like, do you still get to do the same exact things you had before, or like how much different is this whole thing?
Was that a fart?
Was that?
Well, if it was a fart, it was a dog fart. Well, I'm on the side of the fence where
it's this thing.
Oh, it's the camera.
Yeah, so we've got a 360 camera, and it's definitely the most important part of this podcast for Derek today is making sure that thing works.
Live.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was trying to keep everything going with us.
No, it's all good. But on Mars, I would not go. I would not be a part of that just because I think that there's some inherent risk of being the first person or the first group of people. Even if everything's already set up, I would rather someone else go and be the first person to try multi-planetary existence on another planet. I like them to have the first screw ups and learn from their mistakes. So I'm going to go ahead and say, no, I would not participate in that.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah. Hey, Derek, how about we just don't worry about that?
Well, I was just putting it up there for right now.
Yeah.
It'll be on there for the time being. But yeah, so back to that, like it would be interesting to see how everything would be. I'd like to kind of see an experience of like maybe the night, like see how the skyline looks.
Well, it's always night. Sorry to burst your bubble.
Oh.
You're in space.
Wait, are we talking about the moon? The dark side?
No, you still get some sun.
We're talking about Mars, buddy.
Yeah, you're gonna. Yeah. How do you not still get some sun?
I guess I don't know. I really can't speak on it.
Do you not know the solar system?
I guess you would probably get some daylight. It's probably
your days are different.
Yeah, you're gonna have different.
Okay, same.
My bad.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I apologize. I'm sorry.
Yes.
Again, that's two apologies in one podcast.
On fuego here.
Let's see if we can get 3.
Spanish for fire.
Yeah.
I would want to live on one of those on a planet with like Saturn with the rings on it.
But
that's what I would. I want to be able to see that
too.
But I think the rings are just gas, aren't they?
Yeah, they're gas, but they've shown pictures of what it looks like on that planet because they landed a rover or something, and you could see them.
Do you think it's real pictures though?
I choose to believe that. I think science is not trying to.
Because I believe in like aliens, all that stuff.
I do too.
Yeah, I think that's a really good chance that aliens exist.
I don't believe
there's other life out there.
Right. I don't think there's different dimensions, but I definitely believe that there are different planets that are in different stages of life.
Well, I don't know. I think the dimension thing could be possible, but to the photo question, are the photos real of the planets? I didn't go out there and take them, so I really can't you're just taking people's word at the end of the day, right? So yes, they definitely could be real photos, but could they not be real? I mean, there's a possibility, right? I mean, if you're not out there personally taking the photos, or you're not the one with the rover or the satellite or whatever that, you know, has gone up there, then I can't definitively say that is in fact exactly what it looks like, because I don't have a personal reference point, you know, for that.
They're also losing their rings.
Saturn is?
Yeah. Oh. They won't be gone in our lifetime, but thousands of years from now, they're expecting them to completely.
Really? Does Saturn have like an official Twitter like updating you?
No, I watch. I go on Twitter and I go on Cool Facts or something.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Sounds like a BuzzFeed article.
They get nice little random facts.
I like that was a nice fact. Random facts. There's no doubt. I don't know. I'm amazed by all that stuff with the planets and everything that happens out there. And obviously, I know I went to use the bathroom when you were talking about the China growing stuff, and you had mentioned it too. You know, some of the things they could grow up there. Do you think that they're going to try to do a greenhouse approach? You know, like putting the plants into something to where maybe they can kind of get their own sunlight to go. Well,
that's what they did. They made a terrarium, a lunar terrarium.
I thought it was just they tested out the soil.
Yeah, no. They made like a little ecosystem with like fruit. They had fruit flies in there to like pollinate, and they picked fruit flies because apparently they can withstand extreme temperatures a bit better than like other insects.
So forget about the moon or Mars or inhabiting that. Yeah. What if we discover a planet and they already have life form like they do on Avengers, and you can go live
like you can travel back and forth?
They developed that so you can travel back and forth. Would you be willing to go live on a different planet?
Well, if you could travel back and forth and it was like instantaneous, I would go work. I would commute to another planet.
You would want to. It's a hell of a commute.
To work. Yeah. Well, but if it was instant, like teleportation. That's what I'm
trying to think is
how you could live in Asgard, like where Thor's from.
Sure.
I think I would do that.
Yeah.
Just for like a year, just test it out, see what's up with this.
Well, okay, let me take that question and spin it. Time travel. If you could in fact time travel, would you, and I'm just going to say this, and not affect anything negatively, like where, you're not.
You wouldn't have a negative effect.
Right. There's no ripple effect where like something you do back, when you travel back in time affects something in the future. Would you go
100%
live maybe for, I don't know, let's call it a week is doable, but yeah, let's just say a week. Would you be down to go spend a week in another time period?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And what time period would you choose to, like, if you could pick just one time period to live in, what would it be?
Man,
because I'm a huge Back to the Future fan. I love that movie.
I love history. I want to see, like, I'm looking at some of the stuff I have here, like Muhammad Ali. I love boxing, so I'd like to see that.
Right.
But then I would like to see Mickey Mantle playing baseball.
Right.
But then I'd also like to see dinosaurs.
Right.
I want to see if this is a real thing that we actually have. So to be honest, and then the thing is, we have that risk of something could happen to us. So if we go back in time and
no, I said there was no ripple effect.
No, I'm saying like
what if somebody got us? Like if you go to a war zone and you
okay, right. Well, let's just pretend that wouldn't happen.
So it's a viewing thing.
Sure.
Oh, well,
you're living there.
Going back. I want to see the dinosaurs.
I want to go back to two moments. I want to go back to the. Well, okay, fine. It's the same. Well, it's not the same era. I'll pick Abraham Lincoln, John Wilkes Booth, and the assassination. He's in the movie theater
watching it go down.
Yeah, because there's a lot of people that speculate what could have really happened, and like it's one of like a really very transforming moment in like the history of the country. And I've always kind of like been infatuated with him. The other one I was going to say was the JFK assassination, to actually be there.
Be on the lookout.
Yeah, it would be great as if I'm throwing this in there. If you could take technology with you on the time travel, I'm bringing like the best HD camera, and we're really figuring out what happened. Was it the grassy knoll or whatnot? What time period are you going back to, JC?
I think I would want to go back to the Renaissance time.
Okay,
and not any moment in particular. I just want to see how they lived. And how, because we have all these things that keep us entertained. We have TV, we have sports, we have video games. The hell did they do 24 hours a day back then? Well, without electricity.
Well, that's easy to think of now.
Well, they would watch TV by candlelight,
right? But I just want to see the interactions, and I want to see how, like, the smells. Because people probably not smelling very fresh.
Yeah, it's true. You don't have the same deodorant.
Were the girls looking right back then, or were they just
Oh, they were togaed out.
You think so?
Toga's on deck.
What was that thing that I can't think of what it's called.
The garter
belt
or whatever.
No, not the garter belt.
The
corset.
Oh, okay, yeah. But I think that's a little later on. I think that's past Renaissance. I think you're talking about. I think you're talking about.
I'm besides that. I'm just saying, like, I'm throwing it out in general. Is like looking at all that stuff that these guys did back in the day. Like, you know, we do entertain ourselves. Think about when you were a kid. You know, we didn't have cell phones and stuff.
Go play outside.
I get it. We had TVs, but we were outside doing
it. Pretending. I remember actually pretending, which I don't feel like that's probably something a lot of kids do anymore is actually.
What did they pretend, though?
What do you mean?
I'm Jon Snow or whatever, you know, way back in the day.
Oh,
when there was no TV.
Sure.
Like, you know, how we had like, hey, here's comics. We could have Spider-Man or whatever. You go back.
I'm
Right.
a warrior.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, if you think back to Shakespeare days, I mean, that's where like the whole thespian thing came from. So like acting and like putting on plays. Yeah. Putting on plays was like a big thing though. Like storytelling time, like storytelling in general was like
huge,
major. And like that would be entertainment. And that would also be a way that they're passing down like history, you know, to the younger generation so that they have it and they can pass on the history to them. So I think probably a lot of it was storytelling. But for me, pretending, like when I was a kid, I remember pretending to be like me and my friend, we'd play army men and but we would be the army men and we would have rocks and we would like, you know, pretend like the rocks were grenades and we'd, you know, pull the pin off the rock and then chunk it over our head over the wall. And yeah, occasionally it hit, you know, the rock hit your friend in the head.
Whoops.
But that was like part of the pretending. And now I would be surprised to see that kind of thing happening often. Cause I look at kids that are, you know, 2 years old. JC, you have pretty young kids. How old were they when they started actually using a phone? Not necessarily knew what they were doing, but knew enough of what they were doing to where you're watching them swipe and click apps. 2 years old.
Yeah. They know how to swipe. They know how to push your code in. They know how to
got these kids on Tinder?
What's that?
You got the kids on Tinder?
Yeah, I got the kids on Tinder. I got to get them. I'm trying to get them a rich girl.
Well, it's called Tindergarten.
Yeah, Tindergarten. Hey, go play. But yeah, man, they pick it up so fast. Some of it, like my daughter used the phone way better than my mom before she was 2.
Right. And that's wild. And it's one of those things where, again, back to the make believe and the pretend and all that kind of stuff. I think that is a really valuable, and this is coming from someone without kids, but just making an observation. I think that those things that you do growing up are huge, and that's part of reality. And like the fact that kids at 2 years old, like my friend Aaron, I remember watching his sister, his nephew, when he was like 2, and he's sitting there swiping on the phone, pressing buttons, like using it with his little tiny baby 2-year-old hands like a grown-up would. And, you know, I guess that kind of gets me thinking about technology and the human race merging at a certain point. Like that almost kind of is like, if you don't really think about it, but the phone is an extension of you. Like it is a digital extension of yourself, right?
Do you watch Black Mirror?
I've seen I have seen a few episodes. I've not seen a ton of it.
Watch that, and it's gonna scare you so much because that is exactly where our society's headed.
You know what kind of trips me out is the Truman Show. You've seen that movie?
Okay,
that is a great movie.
Just like that.
Great movie.
It just kind of makes me. And
shout out Jim Carrey.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And he's one of my favorite actors. But Tara is one of her favorite movies, and she was like, "Hey, let's watch this. Let's watch it." So I was like, "Okay, I'm gonna check this out. I've never seen it." And then when I watched it, it started to like make me think. Like that night when I went to bed, I was literally laying there and I was like, man, are people just like watching me and like checking out what I'm doing kind of thing?
Right.
I see we got some technical difficulties here.
You broke the mic?
No, you pulled a little bit too hard on it, I guess.
That's what she said.
I teed you up for that one. But it does, I mean, if you think about it, like who's watching me? Like if you think about yourself, like your thoughts run through your head and it's like, well, he can't hear what I'm really thinking. Like, am I just filming something? Am I just going somewhere? Like that Truman effect, like really makes you wonder about how life really is. Like, it's kind of like you want to just go get in the ocean and like see how far you can get out and see if you can find that door.
Well, there was an episode on Black Mirror where you guys aren't parents yet, but you will be one day. If you could, would you want to be able to put an implant in your kids' eyes?
To see what they see.
Whenever you wanted to, you could check in on them.
No.
Just make sure they're okay.
No.
So
I don't want to do that.
If she's in the crib, you want to be. So this lady did, which was fine when they were little. But when they became teenagers.
Oh, yeah.
The mind fuck that happened to this woman was awful. And then what happened to the kid? It's just, but this is exactly what
I couldn't do that.
End up having.
Well, yeah, I saw a guy that actually, he put an RFID chip in his hand. This is real life. Like he actually put an RFID chip in his hand. That chip allows him to unlock his car. So instead of pressing like his key fob, he just rubs his hand up against where the lock area is and it unlocks his car. It also has been programmed to do like other things with other devices in his home. But like that's we're close to like that kind of stuff because it's already happening. Like people are already putting in these like digital implants and stuff into them. But like on the Black Mirror thing, like, no, I would not want to participate in that. Like, and I think like that's one of those things where like we joke about it. We see it in movies and all that kind of stuff, but this is stuff that people are actually developing.
Yeah, it's
becoming a part of real life. And who knows how far down the road all that is where it's like a mainstream thing, but it's kind of creepy when you think about it. I mean, I don't know. I'm not, I definitely am on the line, and it's a fine line of, wow, that's really cool, to like, okay, yeah, that's really cool, but that's also creepy. And like, that's a little bit too much. Do we really need that as part of our lives?
No.
You're seeing like the technology of like, they'll have like, I just saw this on there. It's a bracelet, and then they can just go like this, and it scans down onto their forearm, and they have now a screen.
Oh, it projects,
and they
right?
can do,
right.
do whatever they want on their own skin.
Right. Well, it's like Inspector Gadget when he just answers the phone by using his hand.
Soon. You're going to go to FaceTime on your forearm.
Right.
Eventually, yeah.
Right.
And I mean, the phone thing, basically, this is like that. I could take a phone call on my watch.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So it's close. We're getting to this point to where now I can just hold my finger.
Wait, did we just find out that we're all team Apple Watch?
Hell yeah, bro.
Oh, yeah.
I got the little screen now.
And okay,
it's funny because your screen's
on the Apple Watch. I did not get it. I got the Apple Watch 3, right? You have the 4, right? But you had the 3 before that. Yeah. And what do you have? Which one? Yeah. So I was not anti-Apple Watch, but I wasn't going to get it until the cellular capability came around, because it used to be on like the Apple 1 and 2 watch. It was just Wi-Fi only. So you're really only getting like the updates and that kind of stuff when you're on Wi-Fi, when you're not.
Or you're close to your phone.
Right. Or you're close to your phone. Now it has a cellular chip built into it. So that's exactly, when I said, okay, I'm going to go ahead and sign up for that. I love this thing. Do you guys wear yours all the time?
And I wanted it at my Christmas party. I wouldn't.
Oh, really?
It. Okay. So I was like, I'm going to go exchange it and get a freaking TV.
Yeah.
But I tried it and fell in love with it.
Oh, it's awesome. Yeah. No, I signed up. It's one of those things where I didn't think I would use it that much, but I use it all the time. And it's a lot more. 1 second, Eric, go ahead and come on in here so you can stop making it awkward for the rest of us on the show. Yeah. Come on. You coming in?
Come on in.
If you're coming in, come in. Yeah. So I use it all the time. It's one of those things where, Eric, can you shut that door? Sorry, we have a guest, not really a guest yet. He's going to be on the show, but he's interrupting the show in the most professional way possible. His name's Eric Hill, and he's causing a major distraction for everybody, including Bruce in the room.
Bruce is now woke up.
So now we'll go back to I want people to know when they hear an awkward pause.
It's a real thing.
Well, when they hear an awkward pause, it's like, okay, let's share what's going on right now.
Well, we were also, I think he was starting to laugh because like I saw Eric, and when I turned back to look at you, I smoked the microphone. And I started like laughing a little bit.
Well, I'm sitting here, eyes glaring, looking at like Eric there's a crack in the door, and I can just see his eyeball peeking through the crack in the door. And I'm like, all right, dude, if you're going to come in the room, let's get in the room and let's continue the podcast.
So continuing now.
Podcast continuation starting 3, 2, 1, go. So the Apple Watch.
I was going to say, we aren't editing here.
But I use it every day. I use it to set alarms. I use it like when I'm cooking. I'll get, hey, set a timer for the potatoes for 30 minutes or whatever. But this right here is probably the next step, the closest next step to this just being embedded.
We're going to get holograms one day, dude.
Right. No, just being embedded.
That's true. Like, yeah. Like it's literally like you see in Star Wars.
Yeah.
That's actually I like that. It's just,
that'll definitely happen. Like it'll go from FaceTime on your screen to here's a hologram of me standing on your wrist.
Yeah.
You're dancing.
The
dancing baby.
Definitely dancing.
Don't do it around the boys though.
Yeah. Let's keep hold on. You're just going to push it back down. No. We don't need you out right now.
No, exactly. Okay. So we're kind of talking about technology a little bit. This is going to go into we actually all have experience with this, but JC, I know you brought it over so we can try it, the OneWheel.
I did bring the OneWheel.
And what is the OneWheel?
The OneWheel is, you were talking about Back to the Future.
Right.
Who didn't want one of those hoverboards? This is as close as we can get to a hoverboard right now.
Right. Well,
so it's basically a go-kart wheel on a skate deck. On a skateboard deck.
Okay.
And it's motorized, so you charge it. It's got a battery.
Like we say a wheel, like how big is this wheel?
A go-kart wheel. So
for people that don't have a reference point for a go-kart wheel.
I can give you the 13 inches.
Okay.
Something like that.
And you're on a single board.
You're on a single board, and it's a skateboard type deck, and it's like a Segway system, so you balance on it.
Well, so leaning
forward goes forward, leaning back slows down and goes backwards. You lean forward, you go to the right. You lean back, you go to the left, and you can take it off road. You can go on the streets.
How fast?
It goes up to, I think some people have gotten it up to like 27 miles an hour. But
wow.
I think it caps off at like
That's
25.
quick though.
I mean, do you feel like you're in danger when you're going that fast?
The problem is if you go too fast and you overexert the motor, it'll shut off on you like any electronic would.
Oh, wow.
So it gives you a pushback. It lets you know, hey, you're working me too hard. There's guys that go, no, I want to push past it. And then they'll do what we call a nosedive. So where your board falls forward, you can't run it out at 24 miles an hour because you're not Chris Johnson and you fall on your face. I like to cruise. I go 15 miles an hour tops, chill.
I just realized, so yours is the skateboard style. There's another one that's actually you stand and the wheel is in between. That's why I was curious when he brought it up to me. I didn't know which version you had.
No, I had that.
Now I know you have the skateboard.
Well, and then
definitely.
before that, we all had the gliders, which everyone was calling hoverboards. There was like a million different ones, but we all ended up getting them. And
we took it on Katy Trail. It didn't work so well. You couldn't go that fast.
Well, you had people running. And so Katy Trail, for those that don't know, it's in Dallas and Uptown. It's a very popular trail where people run, jog, ride their bikes, do it like athletic stuff. So we also definitely got some looks when we took them on there because here we are.
We were those guys.
We were the guys while you guys are working out, we're cruising on the hoverboards and we feel great about it. Yeah. And it probably wasn't the best thing.
This is more sporty, so this is more than
right. Yeah, if you throw a headband on, you're good.
And dude, going off-roading on this thing is so much fun. Just because we don't have mountains here, so it's like you're snowboarding almost.
Okay,
that's true. Yeah,
I can't wait to try it. I mean, what's the learning curve? Is it pretty simple?
Wait, man, I learned. You can learn in 2 minutes.
Okay,
so you have on the hoverboard or the glider, how you get on it? You hurry up and get on it and go.
Yeah.
Is this one, can I start up on one side and then I can put my other foot down and then I can go?
So it's basically when you try
just
to
like a real skateboard
when you're a kid and you'd go on the lip and you'd lean back and then you just lean forward and you'd be on the board. That's exactly how you get on this.
Okay.
You just lean back and then you lean forward, the board catches you and then you're going.
Damn, I kind of want to give it a whirl.
Yeah.
At some point, I definitely want to check that out. I think that's kind of cool. He brought that up, and I was a big fan of him. I like it. I still got mine. Mine's blue and red, the Rangers colors for when I was with the Rangers, so it was cool.
I got mine black and red too. Yeah.
Got to have that. I mean, I think, and it's true. Like the technology of this stuff is taking off. Like we talked about this as well. Is that there is a hoverboard that's a skateboard.
Yeah,
that's a fish. I don't. Is it out?
It's not out for the public, but like Tony Hawk demoed it.
Oh, that's one.
Yeah, it's all magnetic driven. So like it's a special like vert ramp that has like a certain type of metal. There's
it's feeding off these gravity the poles.
Well, no,
gravitational poles.
It's magnets.
But I know that the magnets. That's what they say. The whole North Pole, South Pole, the magnets and all that.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. In here, it's doing the same thing.
Sure.
It's the magnets on the ground because it never technically touches the ground. I guess.
I'll give you that. I really don't know how it works. If I'm being completely,
I think it's like nitrogen.
I just thought it was. I thought that was Hollywood.
I think there was like nitrogen to it, like it's causing it to. You're pushing and it's having all that nitrogen.
Because you still got to push off your feet, right? Like you are on a skateboard.
Yeah, it's just like a skateboard except no wheels, and you are hovering.
Yeah, I don't know if that's actually how it works, but I'll trust you on this. I'll take your opinion.
I don't really know either.
Yeah, nitrogen sounds like a bit of a stretch.
You know what? I'm here for that. That's what I'm trying to do. Just see what we can come up with.
Okay, there we go. All right, so last night, Manny Pacquiao, Adrian Broner.
I did not get to see it.
I didn't watch it.
That interview was so cringe-worthy.
Yeah, I didn't watch it. I do know just based on all the memes in the interview that Broner definitely lost. I think it was a unanimous decision.
Yeah, they didn't give him the stats, man. Manny landed all the punches. He had a better percentage. He had more power hits. He had more body shots. And Broner still said, I beat that boy.
Well, Broner is a trash talker. And he definitely tries to get a lot of that from Floyd Mayweather. They used to be super cool, and I'm pretty sure if you just watch Broner, I think he tries to emulate Mayweather when it comes to the trash talking, but you're never going to be as good as a Mayweather. I mean, obviously he's a talented boxer, but he is one of the best self-hype men that you will ever hear.
Dude that does the interviews after on the ring.
Oh man, that's where
Floyd always goes against him and stuff.
Right.
But he was interviewing me after, and he gave him the facts, and he goes, "Well, you're already against me." And it's like, "No, I'm giving you the facts." And he said, "You were 3-3-1 in your last 7 fights." And he goes, "Yeah, I'm 3-3-1, but I'd be 7-0 against you."
Oh, like that matters.
Yeah, like, dude.
Yeah, well, I'm sure you would beat the announcer in a boxing match because he's the announcer and you're the boxer, right?
Yeah. I mean, I could see that. I didn't get to see the fight, so I don't really know as much on this.
I didn't watch the fight either, but I did catch a couple of the clips online, and I just, like you said, that cringeworthy interview at the end where it's one of those things like, if you look at like a Conor McGregor, phenomenal trash talker, great fighter. But what I do love about him is no matter how much trash that he talks, when he loses a fight, he has no problem saying like, "Hey, that was a great fight. That was a great opponent. And I lost." He doesn't sit there and try to like still hype himself up. It's like, yeah, I lost. I'm not going to try to pretend like I didn't. Yeah. And so I can appreciate McGregor from that angle because, again, I love a good trash talker. It definitely adds to the excitement, the buildup of the fight going into it. And he's one of the best to do it, but he has no problem humbling himself after a loss and being like, "Yeah, I know I said all this stuff, but this guy beat me today." Right. And I'm cool with that.
That's true. That's how it should be, though. You should be able to,
which is the opposite of what Broner.
It's kind of like we were saying when we were playing the video games. You could talk all the smack, but when you beat me, okay, I can't really say nothing back. I got to give you, tip my hat to you. You beat me. That's kind of the way it goes.
Exactly.
Now, JC, question for you, and we can all talk about this. We'll start with you, though. This is kind of involves your profession. So you are in radio. You deal with a lot of radio artists. Who's exciting you right now in the music scene? Whether it can be any type of music, and you could have met them, haven't met them, or maybe you just have liked what you've seen so far from their career. And I have a feeling you're going to say 6ix9ine.
No, that guy is not exciting, man. I mean, I'll be honest. I do like some of Tekashi stuff. I'll listen to his.
Well, it's definitely he's polarizing. I mean, he's in prison. Well, he's I guess about to be potentially in prison is what the case is. But he's a polarizing figure. He's kind of like, I look at him like a DMX almost, like just really intense, aggressive, like hype up music. Like, and he has rainbow hair, but he's definitely polarizing, definitely brings numbers.
As a person, that dude, I just don't like how he goes about it. If you're in music, I wish your music would speak for itself rather than you go and start beef with everybody that's up. Up there on that pedestal.
Well, he's kind of taken the 50 Cent approach where it's like, I'm going to troll and I'm going to start, as much as I can in terms of trash talking with huge names. Because when he came in, like no one knew who he was. Like this kid with rainbow hair.
Eminem and Dre backing him up, so he had that for him.
Exactly.
Tekashi just came in.
Yeah, and he got himself into some serious legal trouble. But I guess on a serious note, like who or what's exciting you in music right now?
Man, I really like Juice WRLD.
Okay, yeah, and he has the Lucid Dreams record right now. It's real big,
the most popular song he's had. I like him a lot. I just like his sound. It's emo hip hop, but I like that stuff. I like emo hip hop. The one that's kind of made that I thought was going to do better was Lil Uzi Vert, who said he's just going to back off of music now.
Okay,
you're like, dude, you're hot right now. Keep coming with it, and he's so burnt out by the hate and by all that that he's just not wanting to do that. That's the guy I wish would just take it back and go, nah, I'm a come flyer.
Right.
Those are the two that pop in my head right now. There's this dude, though, that I've been following for a long time, and I see if I can remember his name, but it's this white rapper.
Is it NF?
No, not NF, but I like him a lot.
Is it Machine Gun Kelly?
I like Machine Gun Kelly.
Is it Paul Wall?
No.
I'm just going through all the white rappers that
His name's Token.
Token?
So this kid I think he's from the north.
Is he from South Park?
Right. He's from the Northeast. I think he's from the Boston area. And that dude, he's got some of the craziest flow. He was just on Sway Show.
Oh, shout out Sway.
Shade 45. His name's Token, and look at his old stuff before you start looking at the new stuff. The new stuff's good, but he raps so fast. He raps about what's going on. He is from the hood. He tells you what is it. He's just not trying to be anything he's not.
Just an authentic dude.
And he hasn't blown yet. And I'm waiting for when he does, because that dude is so.
Well, we'll find his Instagram and tag it in the description and see if we can.
I mean, dude, just
bring a little shine time.
Go listen to his freestyles and just go watch his videos, because he's got a bunch of ones out. And his Twitter's just Token Hip Hop.
Can you spell that? Token?
Token.
Token.
Yeah.
Hip hop.
And he's only got like 62,000 followers right now, so he's still growing.
So, that's one word. No space or anything like that. Like
Token hip hop, just one word.
On
okay,
Instagram.
cool.
Okay.
No, that's on Twitter.
Oh,
just did on Twitter.
Twitter. Okay, on Twitter. We'll tag that in the caption.
Yeah, that guy's one dude that if he drops something, I'm listening to just because I like his sound. I like everything about it.
Okay, now
Nice. Okay.
who's in terms of the people that you've met? Like you've gotten to interact with all types of people. Taylor Swift, Ed Sheeran. Like who has been your favorite, or maybe it's one of your favorites? Because I'm sure there's been a couple of like really awesome interactions. Who's been exciting for you to actually encounter and meet because they were just a really cool person? Like not just how famous they were necessarily, but this is an awesome human being and I had a great time interacting with them.
Man, I have a few. Like Justin Bieber was one. We had him in right when he started.
Okay.
Wow, that's cool.
He was like 13 and Usher had just signed him.
Oh, wow.
And I think we were one of his first radio interviews. So we asked Scooter, his manager, if he could stay with us for a week with this camp we did with kids, and he did. And so I got to hang out with him right before he went off to Australia, which is right when he just blew up.
Okay.
I remember talking to his mom and me and kid telling her, hey, just whatever you do, don't let this fame wreck you guys.
Could you tell then that he was going to be something special in terms of
I mean, yes. But you never know. Cause I've had people where I thought they were going to blow up and they didn't, you know,
right.
It happens all the time. But with him, there's just something about him where you're just like, he's just so cool. And he reminded me so much. And I think that's the case with a lot of people. He just reminded me of me. He had issues with his dad growing up where he wanted his dad to be in his life. That's how I was.
Right.
He came from poverty. I came from poverty. I mean, he was headed down to be the route of being that homeless musician, you know, living out of his truck, but that's what he wanted to do. And he was just always playful, like the kid that would come up and choke you out from behind, and humble. And I lost touch with Justin when he blew up. I mean, we went from talking here and there to sometimes to I haven't talked to him since he turned 21.
Right.
But I've always had a soft spot in my heart for him. So whenever he screws up or he's done something that you look back on, I think back to when you're 19 or 20 or 21, I would have done the same thing with all that money. Ed Sheeran is by far the best human on earth.
Okay.
Just that dude is one dude that just came in with his raggedy clothes and didn't
genuine human being.
What's that?
Genuine human being.
He didn't come in with that. I'm going to make money and change. And once I get that money, I'm out of here and I'm going to be a completely different guy. Because every time I've seen him since, and I just saw him a couple months ago at his concert, he remembers your name. He remembers where you're from. He remembers where you met.
That's tough.
And I love that dude.
Right.
He changed music.
He did.
Which is tough to do nowadays. It's tough to change music. To be a one-man show in a stadium, no band, and play it yourself with that little pedal machine that he has, without any screw-ups for 2 hours is the most incredible thing you'll ever see music-wise, in my opinion.
What's crazy about him is because of the way he does that with that loop pedal, and he can just build his own beats in real time. He can put on the most epic, intimate show with 30 people in the room, or he can play a stadium full of 30,000 people.
He's just so cool, man. He has not changed one bit from it. And he still wears the same kind of clothes. He doesn't come in wearing $3,000 jeans like I've seen with other people.
Well, as they say, he didn't go Hollywood. He didn't go on everybody.
Yeah, he stayed as humble. And then Bruno Mars probably had the most, heartfelt moment.
Gotcha.
I had the most heartfelt moment with Bruno. He came in as well. Right when he was starting out, and he was just a featured artist on a bunch of songs. And the day he came in was the day after he had gotten busted in Vegas.
Oh, yeah. The cocaine situation,
He screwed up, man. He was in Vegas. He was partying, and he was one of the
Hard Rock Hotel on that one,
And he still came in and did our show, and I could tell he was nervous that we were going to ask him about it. And I remember Kid pulled him off to the side, and he goes, "Hey, we're here to have fun. We're not here to ask you what happened yesterday. And whatever took place, just learn from it and do your thing." And I remember him loosening up, doing the show. And when Kid passed away, Bruno was on tour. And we got a call from his record company. And they said, "Hey, if you guys want to come by, Bruno wants to speak with one of you guys." And so my boss sent me. And I went down to his dressing room. And Bruno had just lost his mom.
Oh, wow.
She had just passed away. So he wasn't doing interviews or meet and greets or anything. So he took the time out of his morning to invite me down to see him And he just said, hey, man, I just wanted to check on you and see how you're doing after kid passed away. And, yo, you just lost your mom, man. So, you know, it's one of those like, dude, you have that wherewithal to think of me and our show to make sure we're fine because kid had such an impact on your life that he wants to pay it back. So he's another dude that.
Well, I'm a huge fan of Bruno, so that's awesome to hear something like that.
Well, it's also one of those stories that you usually don't get to hear. Like you usually hear the stories about, and not just Bruno, but just people in general. Like, you know, the fan that asked for the photo and they were like, hey, I'm not taking photos right now, or hey, I want to do this right now. It's great to hear those stories because I feel like the negative ones really get pushed out there. Like, you know, Justin Bieber yells at a fan or this or that. It's nice hearing those positive stories because I think what your everyday, you know, person doesn't take into consideration is that like, hey, you might have been like the 500th person that day that asked if they could take a photo or, hey, my mom's a big fan. Can you say hi to her on the phone? Or can you give me your autograph or whatever it may be? Again, these are regular people. They are just like you and me. They have the same type of stuff come up, like Bruno's mom passing away, or, you know, whatever the case may be. They have their version of, you know, my dad's sick right now, or my girlfriend just broke up with me, or whatever. And it's good to, like I said, hear those other stories where the light is being shed in a positive way, and just to keep in mind that, like, hey, that celebrity. Yeah, they're a celebrity and you know who they are, but they have bad days too.
Yeah, you know? I will go to bat for Justin or Ed Sheeran or Bruno Mars any day, just because of those moments. And there was just a few minutes of the day. With Justin, it was a whole week, but I will always go to bat with them just because they showed me who they truly are.
See, that's what's amazing, man. Is somebody that has that big of a following, like you were saying, to take the time and be above what you are. Like, as they always say, like, oh, this person's great at sports, whatever, but they went above the game. This is the same case right there. You went above and beyond to make sure somebody else is doing good while you're going through a tough time too. Yeah. Like that's true family right there. Yeah. I feel like you guys became more of just a connection of, hey, you come and do an interview with me, whatever. It's now, dude, I'm sorry, we're family. Like, we're connected. Like, you came and you just showed me something else with that. Like, and as a fan of all of those people you just mentioned, like, hearing that myself, that makes me even like them even more. Like, damn, you really touched somebody's life by doing that. Like, you went above and beyond just to make somebody feel better or let them know that you actually care. That, like, who cares how big you are? Who cares how much of a celebrity you are? You showed them that you are a regular person.
Take the time out of your day when you're a superstar like that to make people feel special. Right. And they will be your army. They'll take a bullet for you.
Oh, yeah.
Cherish.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think anybody, whether you're a celebrity or not, can probably just take time out of your day to just be nice to people in general. Like, Derek, we were talking about your foundation on the last episode and you know, how great, 60 feet 6 is and the things that, you know, you guys do. But JC, I know with the show, the Kid Craddock Morning Show, you guys have the Kids Foundation, and you actually just went on the trip. But kind of real quick for everyone listening, let's do a little plug moment. Yeah. What is the Kids Foundation? And then, like, the trip you guys just went on, kind of explain it, what happens and what you love about that trip.
So it's kidskids.org if you want to check out the website.
We'll put that in there.
kids.org. So this was a charity that Kid Craddock started. We started our show, over 20 years ago. He and his wife got pregnant, and they were told that his daughter was going to be born with some form of deformity with her leg, or her femur was going to be backwards. Something was going to be up. And he said he went back and prayed, and he said, hey, Lord, if you give me a healthy child, I will make sure I pay it forward and pay back. And she was born healthy as can be. But he didn't forget that, so he decided that he was going to take those kids that were unfortunately born that way with some ailments that they are going to have to deal with for the rest of their lives, or kids that had been in accidents where they were burned and malfigured. So he said, I'm going to take these kids who spend most of their time in the hospital on a trip of a lifetime. Now, some charities will only be able to take the kid and a guardian. He wanted it to be a family experience, so we take mom, dad, brother, sister, so that while you're on this trip, you get to take pictures and put them in an album or in a video just in case.
Well, and it kind of makes it a normal experience for the whole family because most of their life as a family is not a normal experience.
And it started on a bus to San Antonio to SeaWorld, and it grew to what it is today, where now we take over 50 families to Walt Disney World in Orlando, Florida. Now these families don't have the means to pay for these vacations because medical bills are super expensive.
Yeah. So, plus everything that would go into just even like all the preparation to take a kid that's dealing with this on a trip like that. You guys aren't just helping the families out and showing them this trip. You actually are providing the medical attention that's needed, the staff that's needed for whatever their need may be. So to make sure they're fine.
So on this trip, we bring nurses and doctors who volunteer their time. Nobody gets paid to go on this trip, including us.
Right.
And the doctors are there just in case a cancer patient needs some help, or in case a kid with muscular dystrophy needs some help. The doctors and nurses are there just in case anything goes wrong.
Which is to be a huge relief for like the family and the parents, because they can kind of relax for a second, which probably most of the time they're not getting to relax at any given time of the day.
They get a medical person per family. You're assigned to your nurse and your doctor. So if you ever need anything, you could hang out with them at the park if you choose to and be with them at all times so you feel safe. Or we also give them hey, if you don't want to be a part of any of the experiences or events that we're doing, you guys just want to do this on your own and just go do the park by yourselves, do it. They have the freedom to do whatever they want with this vacation. And they can leave their wallet at home if they want, because they can the hotel's taken care of, food's taken care of. We give them Disney bucks so they could buy some mementos. They got front of the line passes because a lot of these kids are in wheelchairs. And so, I mean, this is one of those every year trips where it's the same, because we are going to the same park, same rides, but it's different because the kids are always different. And the bad part about not a bad part, that's the wrong word, but what makes it difficult is that you do establish relationships with some of the kids.
Right.
And I'm actually wearing one of those bands right now. So there's this little kid named Rowan who I met when my wife was pregnant. He was 5 years old. And I tell his mom this to this day, he was my introduction to being a father. Because from the moment I saw that kid, I fell in love with him.
And this was on a kids trip?
It was on kids. He's 5 years old, and he was short. He was smaller for his age, bald head, just cutest little kid ever. He had a little hair, but we just clicked, and he and I just became buddies. And sometimes I'll go off with different families on the trip, and sometimes I just stick to one. And this was that trip where I was with Rowan the whole time.
Right.
To where even after the trip, we kept in touch. He started a charity. He started raising money for the charity that took him to Disney World.
Oh, wow. And is that where that wristband comes from?
Yeah, that's his wristband that he gave out because, unfortunately, he did end up getting worse as time progressed, and he passed away a couple of years ago.
Sorry to hear that.
Yeah, sorry.
But that's what makes it tough, is that you do fall in love with these kids.
Right.
And some of them will live a long life, and unfortunately, some like Rowan don't.
But that's kind of the cool part about it is you are taking this time to give them this really special experience that they probably wouldn't have had otherwise. Yeah. And it's kind of creating, that moment of like, wow, I'm just like any other kid having this Disney World experience with my family. And I think that being able to inject that moment of positivity into their life that really is filled with a lot of chaos and just, ups and downs and fear of the unknowns, that in itself has so much value. And I know that the kids and I know that the families are impacted by that in a very significant way. So
they get to have those albums, man. Rowan, when he was in the hospital, as he was passing away, as he was in the last weeks of his life, he would still go back and look at those pictures and videos and call me and talk and he was sending me encouragement to me. Right. He knew how much it was going to hurt when he was gone.
Well, and you're getting the memory, and the families are getting the memory for life, And so I think it's an incredible thing that you guys do. And I just wanted us to be able to take the time to share that real quick.
I mean, it's something that to me, like, I'm very passionate about charity stuff like that too. Because you're getting to be around these kids and you're taking them away from that. Exactly. Like, just listening to what you said there too is like, it reminds me of going to the hospital and seeing these kids that we don't know, are they going to make it to next week? Or sometimes you get told that, this is his last week here. And so for us to be able to go in there and try to take them away from it, or in your case, like, you get to take them on a trip, which, as a person of that kind of stature of like trying to go out there and do that, that's what we want. We want them to get away from it, because to me, I feel like when they're at like the hospital stuff, it's kind of like a prison. Like, they don't, they're stuck in one thing. This is all they know. So for us to be able to take them out, for instance, to the SeaWorld or to wherever, the Disney and all that stuff, this is like, holy cow, this is like paradise. Like they don't experience this. So for them to be away from it, it makes them forget about everything. And you actually never know that, like when you were even saying it too, that just them rising in their spirits that way could be something that helps them to get past what they're doing or what they're going through.
And this is how some of these kids get bullied at school.
Oh,
they know kids are going to be mean.
That's crazy.
And so a lot of the times these kids are very drawn back and they don't want to talk, and they're shy at the beginning of the trip because they're expecting that. They're expecting us or these other people on the trip to be like the kids at school and make fun of them, and they're just waiting for that to happen. And when they step off that plane and they go to the first dinner and they walk in there and they're like, wait, half of the kids are in wheelchairs like me, or half of these kids have walkers, half of these kids have a tree. Right. These are kids like me. As soon as they notice that they are not the only ones, because a lot of these kids feel like they're the only ones dealing with these issues. Yep. As soon as they see that, you just see this light just flicker on in their eyes and just go.
Well, and not to mention that VIP treatment that they're getting the whole time. I mean, it's like they're the celebrities
and
Elsa
and Anna and all these Disney people coming up and making them feel like they're the rock stars.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah, you can't, and you couldn't take anything away from that. That day is. I'm sorry, you could bully me now, but I'm sorry, I'm in paradise. You ain't taking me down.
They can go back, and even if they do get bullied, they'd be like, it's all good because I got my army of kids friends that got my back.
That's exactly where I was going to leave with it next. Is that's how good it is that when you tie in with all those kids, or you in general, just more importantly, just using you yourself, they can use that as, oh, that's cool. You know, you want to make fun of me. My buddy back here, he's big time. He's bigger than you, and he don't make fun of me. We actually get along. We're best friends. Like they look at that kind of stuff as more of an encouragement. I think that's what's huge. And that, to me, that's how to be into the foundation. That's how I want to do it. I want to help kids so that they don't have to deal with those kind of things and try to help them get past those things.
Yeah. Create an escape, which I think that's exactly what you're doing. So, I mean, that's awesome, man. JC, unless you have anything else, or Derek, you have anything else, I think that is somewhat of a wrap on episode number 2.
Like a full bladder.
Yeah, no, definitely. Restroom break is going to ensue.
I just feel bad before we really close it out. We got up and had to break the seal. Yeah. And use the bathroom. And this guy. Well, actually, I did.
You're the only one that did. I shut the door. You're the only one that used the. I used the restroom last time. To be fair,
that's true. Okay.
So I'll give you that. You got yours, but I did say before we started this, does anybody need to use the bathroom? Like before you go on the trip?
What's funny? He's probably wearing a diaper.
I'm going right now.
Yeah. And that belt, by the way, that's coming back.
Yeah, but just want to say thanks again for tuning in to the Secret Handshake podcast. This is episode number 2 with guest number 1, JC. We appreciate you being here, man. It's been an honor to have you as the first guest. And before you go, I'd like to give one quick thing. Can we get your Twitter, Instagram, all those real quick, and also how do we connect with you?
For sure.
With you.
So the foundation is kidskids.org, and that's kids.org. Whatever you donate, you get to see where it goes. We have the pictures and the video whenever we go on this trip, and it all goes towards it. So we're not getting paid at all from this. My Instagram and Twitter, same. They're JSi5, so hit that follow, and you get to see my kids and my hot wife and me being a goofball. And then don't forget your PlayStation as well. We're going to link that up as well. You want to hit me up on the Fortnite Epic Tag, J-SI5. And then what about if they just want to listen to you every morning? How do you do that? Make sure you listen to the Kid Craddock Morning Show. Go to kidnation.com. That's KIDD Nation. Yeah, and I think if you have actually did this on the Echo, but if you just say, let me hear the Kid Craddock Morning Show on Alexa, it'll pull it up. You can do that. Yeah. Yep. So, no, it's been great having you. And we look forward to the next time we have you on the show. And again, thank you so much for everything, the stories, and obviously hearing about the foundation. For sure, man. Let me just ask you, though, how excited are you since the show is coming to a wrap? You're about to learn the handshake. I'm super excited. That's how I'm going to greet you guys from now on. Well, it's the only way you can greet us from this point on. Do I get a coin and everything, or is that? Listen. This is the second episode. Is he greedy right now? Yeah, can I drive like Arena Club or something? We are working on a features and benefits page. Okay. Anyways, we will see you guys next time, and we're out. Thanks for listening. Bye. Bye. My dude's snoring over there.